Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada, site of WrestleMania IX. Here is your host.
It's Bob Colling Jr. and Austin Skinner.
Oh, yeah.
And this is ICOPOD, and we're covering WrestleMania IX.
It's about time.
Do you think we matched the intensity of Vince McMahon there, or what?
Beat him.
I'm really proud that we did that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty solid.
That was pretty good.
So here we are, episode 12 of ICOPOD. It's okay, we made it.
Okay.
We survived the build of WrestleMania IX, and we're here to talk about the actual show.
Sweet.
There's no observer notes or anything like that. There's no house shows or anything of that nature.
Yeah, so suck it.
There is one little news tidbit I want to point out, though.
Oops, okay.
So, the night before, or maybe not the night before, but prior to WrestleMania,
Okay.
I think it was like that morning,
Okay.
there was a brunch. So it was definitely the morning of WrestleMania.
Okay.
They're having a little press conference, whatever.
It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bret Hart is talking. And then guess what happens?
He stutters.
That's a given. Yes. But he gets attacked. Do you want to guess by who?
Doink.
No.
Oh.
It's not Doink.
Shit.
I was surprised you even went outside of Yokozuna.
Oh, well.
It's not Yokozuna, though.
Okay.
And it's not Mr. Fuji. It's one of my favorite wrestlers right now.
Oh, no.
The narcissist, Lex Luger, just clubs him from behind with a running forearm.
No. Over bacon and eggs?
Yeah, man.
Started whooping his ass?
Yep, he thought Bret was a waiter, and turns out it wasn't. It was Bret.
I said no bacon!
So going into the event, Bret Hart gets attacked.
Boo.
The morning of the event, I believe.
Oh, okay.
By Lex Luger.
All right. Is this on film anywhere?
Yeah, I think it is. I believe they do show it.
Oh.
Not on the show or anything like that,
No,
but at some point they do,
okay.
yes. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you want to like us on Facebook, you can at ICOPOD, and you send us an email at ICOPodcast.com.
No nudes.
I just said that totally wrong. ICOPodcast at gmail.com. I didn't put the Gmail. I just said .com.
And I'll just clarify again, no nudes.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Nudes. Okay.
Sorry, those were mine, Bob.
Is that you?
Yeah. This was my younger days. It's cold out.
It is March when we're recording this.
There you go.
Okay. So there we go. All right, we got all that stuff out of the way. We got the little, I guess in reverse order there of what Lex Luger did at a brunch.
Screw Luger.
And you can get, well, you would probably do that. If Lex Luger came up to you.
Keep
hey,
going.
All right. So here we are, April 4th, 1993. Attendance is 16,891. Significantly smaller compared to WrestleMania 8, which was like over 50,000 people.
Yeah,
the Hoosier Dome.
I was going to say they were in a dome.
Yeah, they were the Hoosier Dome. They did about 1.1 million in ticket sales. And the buy rate is a 2.3, which is down from a 2.8 in 92.
Not great.
Similar though to Royal Rumble, it's the higher buy rate for the next four WrestleManias.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised by that.
I was too. Again, with the same thing with Royal Rumble. So
next four?
Yeah, so that means 97. Like it doesn't beat it again until 98. So through 97.
Wow.
I guess the down period for wrestling really went down.
Yeah, I'd say. Holy crap.
So let's just go right into the show. I guess we don't have. Usually we spend like 15 minutes talking about stuff before the show, but we're just gonna go right into it.
What are you trying to say? We BS'd in the beginning of the episode?
Well, like last one we kind of did.
Well, great. Now people don't want to listen. First of all, I have to say I was both excited and nervous for this viewing.
Okay.
I didn't know what. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen WrestleMania IX before, not with context though. So I wasn't sure if that was going to help my viewing or hurt it, really. I had expectations. I knew kind of what to expect with these matches. It's been a while since I've seen WrestleMania IX. So, I don't know. I was like, oh, man, I really didn't want it to suck. Because I feel like the last time I watched it, I felt like it sucked. Like, I didn't like it.
I would say out of context, because I remember the first time I ever watched it, I certainly never watched the Raws leading into it, and it was not that great.
I know. And so I put that in the back of my mind. I didn't even think of that. And I judged it solely on all the lead up and everything we've talked about in the last 11 episodes. With that knowledge, I went in with an open mind. I had expectations, but I had an open mind compared to watching it as a standalone show just for what it is. So I was nervous going into this. I wasn't really sure how I'd come out the other side.
I would say I was hopeful.
Me too.
I was thinking in my head, maybe this isn't as bad as I remember it.
Yeah.
You know, especially after watching all the build, maybe in that context, I'll have a better appreciation for it.
Right. Because they've, pushed it to beyond the moon at this point. Like, it's almost to the point where you're sick of hearing WrestleMania 9. You just want to move on from there.
Well, the thing is that they've been pushing WrestleMania 9, but not necessarily the matches on WrestleMania 9.
Oh, no. Nope. Just that it'll be in Caesar's Palace and it's WrestleMania 9.
We're wearing togas.
Yeah.
Like that's the
roll the dice, snake eyes, gambling.
You're scalped. Whoa, and like sharks and stuff in pool water. Anyway,
sure.
So Gorilla Monsoon welcomes us immediately on the show, and he's already wearing a toga. And he sends us to Jim Ross, who's making his WWF debut.
Yeah, he says that tonight will mark a lot of firsts for the WWF. That includes the first introduction we get of Jim Ross with the WWF commentary team, who, when they threw it to Jim, seemed not to take a breath the whole time he was on screen, as he sounded very scripted and kind of threw his Oklahoma lines in there and the gold shoes and the toga and everything in between. He sped through this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the thing that I really noticed about it was, don't get me wrong, I like Jim Ross. Okay. I like him as a commentator.
Okay.
But in this moment here, it just seemed as if he was just overly fake.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to, just that fake smile.
He was really selling it.
Yeah, the fake enthusiasm. Really WrestleMania, I'm in a toga. Look at me. Yeah.
The gold shoes. Look at my gold shoes.
Yeah. I don't know. That part I couldn't connect with, I guess.
I also can't connect with, and I'm going to sound like a jerk here, but seeing Jim younger without the stroke after effects is so bizarre. It's like they're not even the same guy. He reminds me of a short, pudgy Roger Moore, which he played James Bond. It's just so weird. It's so weird.
That's a fair point because
it becomes kind of his signature. It changes his speech pattern. It changes his look. And, that's the voice you remember. Not necessarily the Jim before, but the Jim from the Attitude Era, which was
100%.
Post-stroke.
Right. But the thing with... Yeah, so in this era, he's speeding... he talks really fast. And when he has the unfortunate stroke and Bell's palsy and stuff like that, it forces him to kind of talk slower.
Yeah, but the way he delivers it after all that happens is way more effective.
I think that's fair.
And it's weird.
That's a weird thing to...
It's weird, but I would say it kind of helped his career.
What? You think having a stroke helped his career?
At the commentary table, I think so.
I don't know if Jim Ross would agree with us.
Well, it gave him his signature sound. Nobody commentates like Jim Ross.
Yeah, because no one has to commentate out the side of his mouth.
That's not the point I'm trying to make here, Bob.
That's
trying to turn a negative into a positive, okay?
Oh, man.
It's just weird seeing Jim here without the after.
It's weird seeing Jim as a perfectly healthy man, is what you're saying.
Because, typically you don't... Not like that. Don't say it like that. Perfectly healthy man. What the fuck? He's dying of cancer for fucking 5 years in the Attitude Era.
I don't know.
No, it's just... I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, it's like they're two different people. It's night and day.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say... So you compare it from 93, it's as if his aging sped up real fast. Because, you kind of look at it, even, let's say, 96 or 98.
Stress.
Yeah, but, here he's a healthy, relatively young-looking guy. And then when 98 comes rolling around, it's like, what the hell happened to Jim Ross?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm talking about 98. He doesn't have... When does he have the stroke? 99? With Bell's palsy?
Is it that late?
I think it's
99?
later. I don't think it's this era.
It's no. But I would have thought by 98.
No, because I remember he was on commentary for a show, and he's even mentioned it, like halfway through it, he feels the Bell palsy coming on.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember the show.
See, yeah, I have no idea about that. I don't know. That's interesting, though. I'm not totally sure on that one.
Well, this is an interesting conversation that we had about Jim Ross.
Sorry I brought it up, but damn.
Show.
He was like
Well, no, I mean, I think there are some valid points that you have.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, let's put it this way. I hope he takes Bartlett's spot because thank God he ain't here tonight.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine
Rob Bartlett on WrestleMania commentary the whole show?
Oh, my God.
That would have fucking sucked. By the way, Rob, if you're listening, please do our opening. We like you a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, because Rob Bartlett.
He's listening.
He's like, oh, I was
What's he
comparing.
got better to do? He's listening.
Probably anything.
Yeah, he's listening.
So Jim Ross, who's in his toga and whatnot, lets us know that there's 16,000 people. When in fact there's almost 17,000 people. Usually they inflate it. They don't.
Oh, you tried it,
Yeah, I'm surprised that he went low with it. Ross promotes the double main event, which is obviously WWF World Champion Bret Hart defending against Yokozuna, and the Mega Maniacs challenging WWF Tag Team Champions Money Incorporated.
Now don't forget, you just named the other half of the main events first.
Right.
So
the other half.
You better correct yourself there, buddy.
Yeah, excuse me. Can't believe I messed that up. So we go to Caesar and Cleopatra.
Yep, compliments of Fincus Maximus himself. And you know what? As corny as all this is, I always loved the opening pleasantries of WrestleMania. Just the days when the WWF would still go all out for setting and production and making the show feel like a spectacle. To me, it's kind of lost that a little bit. So I always appreciate that. Speaking of going all out, Cleopatra's chest was all out here too, and I appreciated that as well. Anything from Caesar and Cleopatra there, Bob?
I mean, I skipped over it.
Of course you did.
Because, listen, I do not...
You are the action guy.
Yes, and I don't... If I'm not interested in it, I don't tend to want to talk about it, I guess.
But how do you know Billy from Arkansas doesn't want to hear about Caesar and Cleopatra?
That's a very fair point.
Just because you're not interested, Bob.
I know, I shouldn't be so self-centered.
And you missed the boobs.
No, I looked at the boobs.
Oh, but they're not in your notes? Those are noteworthy.
No, because I'm not a pig.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't I don't just treat women for sexual desires, unlike you.
You don't treat women at all. The arena came off a lot bigger than I remembered.
That's fair. I don't.
So that was a nice realization.
Right.
Like, it looked pretty big.
Because the far away, when they do like a far away shot, I was like, oh, I didn't realize the seats were so like up and back. I was like, oh, wow.
Well, because I
kind of thought it was like one layer.
Well, I was thinking back, and it's like, from what I remember, it was like WrestleMania 9, even though it was an outdoor arena, was pretty small. But like, not according to this watch through, because even when they showed a shot from in the crowd at the ring, it just looked like a sea of people.
Right.
So I don't know whether or not they kind of planned it the way they did, but it looked a lot more like 30,000 people than 16.
Well, if they wanted to promote it as, there's 23,000 people in here, I probably
wouldn't have blinked an eye. You could have. Easily.
Yeah. And it's funny, though, because let's say you look at WrestleMania 7.
Right.
That's like a regular arena show.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get the stadium or whatever because of security.
Yep.
And then you go to the Hoosier Dome.
Right.
And the next year when it's like, well, here's 50,000 people.
Right.
Which there is like noticeable missing seats if you really look at it.
Oh.
Which I watched several weeks ago or something. And, and I pointed out, I was, oh, wow, that upper section is completely empty. You never notice it when you were younger.
Right.
And then you go right back to a smaller level thing. So it's kind of weird that they go like, oh, one of them we had to do that because we couldn't get the ideal big stadium.
Yeah.
And we go to a dome.
Right.
Which substantially bigger stars
right.
that they have at the time.
Right.
And then within a year, they have to go back to something small.
Now, if I'm remembering correctly, too, previous to WWE coming to this Caesars Stadium or whatever it is.
Palace.
Well, the Palace is the hotel. But the,
Yeah,
the Palace Coliseum, let's say.
Okay.
I believe that it was relatively, like, run down and kind of shitty. And they, like, really spruced it up and were able to kind of make a veneer over the underneath of kind of a run-down arena, like an outdoor arena. So, in that sense, with that in mind, it's pretty mind-blowing to see what they were kind of able to come up with here. It was... I've always had a soft spot for WrestleMania IX's look. Always. Between the togas and the just the whole setup, I think is awesome. All the live animals, I think is awesome. So again, it just goes to show when WWF was willing to really put the money and time into stuff, compared to now you're lucky if like WrestleMania has fireworks sometimes.
Well, I know when I mentioned it to other people, they enjoyed the outdoor visual and, you know, Cleopatra and all that stuff. I mean, I like the outdoor visual, but I'm just not into the whole theme part of it, I guess.
See, I don't know. I am. Because that's what sets it apart. When you think of WrestleMania IX, do you think of, let's say, you know, Bret Yoko, or do you think of Toga's Ancient Rome?
I don't know. The togas in Ancient Rome would not be the first thing that came to mind. No.
I don't know. For me, it is. It's that imagery. It's like the theme, which to me always made it stand out.
I think I'll tell you when we get there what is the first thing that would come to mind. I
don't even want to know.
Okay.
So Savage comes out, and he is led to the ring by women feeding him grapes, which that's iconic. You always see that, Savage getting fed the grapes. His outfit was amazing. He had the satin purple, like shirt and pants under the gold and white jacket with like the Romanesque iconography all over it. Very cool looking. Surprised there's not a toy of that. That's what I was thinking when I was watching this. Like, oh, that'd make a cool like action figure.
I'm sure there will be at some
point.
There
you go. There's the idea there, Vince.
Yeah.
Get it out to production.
Who's making their toys now? Mattel? Or no?
Yeah. I think so.
Is it still them?
I think so.
Okay.
He got in the ring and received a very nice ovation before heading to where Jim was kind of standing there waiting to greet him.
Well, you know what? I just want to point out that really frustrated me. His great reactions. He's like, why is he not wrestling?
I know. Why is he not on the show?
Insane.
I know. Bobby was out next again to Ravenous Booze. He came out to, of course, backwards on the camera, scared to death. Again, iconic. We've seen this before. And he almost tried to swing at the ostrich on his way to the ring, which I found hilarious. You can even hear him say, he was like, damn bird. And he tries to punch the ostrich head as it's walking by. And then, he falls off the camel. Savage lifts up his toga to reveal some blue underwear. All the stuff you're going to come to expect with Savage and Bobby together on commentary. And that leads us right into the first match.
No, it does not. Because when Heenan gets over to Ross, he complains to Ross and says that Ross is used to the smell considering he's from Oklahoma.
Oh, I didn't point that out.
I did.
Well, we're going to get a lot of Oklahoma comments.
I was just going to say, there's a
lot.
We're
going to get a lot.
Yes, he does. I probably didn't write those down, but...
But yeah, he starts the bickering off right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
So you're right, though. That leads us right into our first match, and it is for the Intercontinental Championship as Shawn Michaels is defending against my boy Tatanka. I thought it was interesting that Michaels got the first entrance. Usually the challenger comes out first.
Yeah.
And I was even more surprised to see that Luna Vachon is behind Shawn Michaels during his entrance. Such an odd pairing, and I don't understand the connection.
No context there, but I have to say, so when Shawn's coming out, I'll admit, I was excited for this match.
Because of Shawn.
Of course.
Yeah. Nothing to do with Tatanka.
I think, out of a lot of the WrestleMania matches, this one did get a decent build-up. So maybe that's why.
See, I mean...
It was decent. It wasn't great. It was decent. They did something.
Well, yeah, they did something. Is what I'm thinking. Right. With the 2 wins and then the brief interaction there.
Right.
Compared to other ones that got absolutely nothing.
Right. I thought here, right now, this entrance, Shawn was looking like a star, I thought. What do you think of Luna Vachon? Like, just generally.
You know, I mean, I haven't seen probably her heyday stuff.
Sure.
I think as a manager, she serves a purpose. I mean, it's a very unique look.
Oh,
like,
my
you
God.
can't, like, if you were to see a woman like that,
yeah,
you're not gonna forget her.
Right.
And then her voice, is just, I mean,
scary.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna try to do an impersonation of it, and I would rather not try.
Right.
Shawn. Yeah. Or like, sure. I can't even do it.
Yeah.
Sherry. Something like that. That's horrible. Like, you were way better at it than I just tried doing it. But
I personally think...
I don't even think, like, that sounded like an old woman yelling, what I just
Sherry.
did. Yeah. But, like, I can hear her voice in my head.
Yeah.
And then trying to do that is just no way.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that was like her voice, though, because I heard her normally talk.
Oh, see, I haven't.
Yeah, like in shoot interviews or something. And she has the naturally, like, kind of raspy, like, not, I don't want to say weird, but a unique voice.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's not like a play.
Right.
She's
right.
A natural voice.
So if I'm a wrestler in 93, they say you can have any manager you want. 2 jump to mind immediately, and they're both female. I'm either picking...
Miss Elizabeth.
Nope.
Okay.
Luna Vachon or Sensational Sherry. Out of everybody. Out of Bobby Heenan. Out of everybody.
Out of everyone?
Everybody.
Oh, I would take Heenan.
No. Not me.
What?
I don't know what it is, but it's Sherry more so than Luna Vachon, but I don't know, man. I just think they...
No, it's not
for
even...
maybe the character that I'd want to play, I think we'd match up perfectly. But I don't know. Like, there's something about a sketchy broad willing to hit people with shoes and fucking power slam them, and not even like so much China. So China actually fought guys, but ladies that weren't afraid to get their hands dirty and cheat for you on the outside of the ring.
Okay, so Luna is not sketchy. She's the type of girl that...
What?
Hang on, let me finish. She's the type of girl that literally just broke out of prison, is on the run.
Yeah.
Because she killed a guy. That's not sketchy. That's like a criminal. That's straight up like, I know she's going to kill me.
Okay. I like that.
You said that with a twinkle in your eye. Like you would love a girl like that.
Not to date her, but I want her in my corner. I don't want to fight against her. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but in terms of, I don't know.
Okay, who do you want on your team? It's a tag team match. You want Luna Vachon with you or Bobby Heenan?
Bobby Heenan.
Bullshit.
Bullshit, no.
Luna Vachon's whooping his ass. She's slamming him on the concrete.
Yeah, but I don't care. I like Bobby.
I do too.
He's witty. He'll make fun of her and she'll cry and she'll have, self-doubt and probably,
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, yes. It's either definitely Sherry, my first pick. Definitely. Followed by probably Luna Vachon. Female managers, man. I don't know.
I mean, I get the Sherry one. I don't know. Luna?
Uniqueness.
She's for sure unique. Yeah.
There's been nobody like her before or since.
No, yeah.
She turns heads.
Yeah.
I'm not talking gold dust Luna Vachon. I think that's a little much. But here with Shawn and like the leather with like the paint on her face, the crazy hair, willing to kind of do whatever, pacing back and forth the whole match. I think it works.
It does work, but it's just weird that it's with Shawn.
It's very weird that it's with Shawn.
She'll eventually find the right person to be with.
Yes.
In that regard. Speaking of Sherry, though, she's also out during Tatanka's entrance. Not with Tatanka, but just during it. And it appears as if she'll be in his corner to, I guess, combat Luna.
So weird.
See, now, this type of thing, though, so, like, Luna was never promoted.
Never.
So, Sherry coming out, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, it kind of takes away your ability, or my ability, to suspend my disbelief because they had to have known then.
Right. And here's my problem too. So let's rewind a little bit. You got Shawn and Jannetty facing off at the Royal Rumble, basically because of Sherry in an indirect, direct way. Again, here we are, WrestleMania, and it seems as though the story's still kind of about Sherry. Like they're bringing this angle back in.
Right. So it's Tatanka's beating him twice. By the way, Sherry doesn't want Shawn as champion.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't get. It's like
I don't think it's
just
needed.
Wish they'd let that like move on.
Yeah,
just move on.
From that doesn't need to be even brought up again.
Right.
Really.
Right.
I have it noted here that this is the 4th time out of 5 years that Shawn Michaels has been involved in the opening match at WrestleMania.
Wow. That's weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Although I did like that he was stalling by fixing his hair in the reflection of the belt to piss Tatanka off. I did notice that.
What an asshole. Tatanka has...
Tatanka's a fucking jerk.
Yeah. Well, so impatient, The guy's got to look good. Tatanka has the early advantage, showcasing his strength to control Michaels. Michaels tries to come off the top, but is met with an arm drag instead. That type of spot, though, to me, doesn't make any sense. Because if he's coming off the top rope and already going to do a back bump, as you say, how is grabbing his arm really adding anything to that?
Yeah.
Nothing. But I guess the visual of it is cool. Whatever.
Early on, too, so Savage and Heenan are really already getting into it. And they'll do that the rest of the show. But Savage is kind of making Heenan sound like a fool. Because he goes, I forget they were talking about, but he goes, "Oh, you're stuttering, Heenan. How did you get to be a broadcaster?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't have it to answer you, Savage. You're lucky I'm even allowing you to sit with me." I was like, what is Bobby Heenan going to do to Randy Savage?
That's his gimmick. He's all talk.
I know. But it's just like, they're already starting, and we're, maybe not even 5 minutes into the show here?
Right.
So, that just kind of sets the pace. But yeah, I feel like I could hear Shawn calling a few spots. And when he was calling him, he kind of sounded like a dick. Like he was kind of bossing Tatanka around.
Well, I think it's been noted that, Michaels was not, I guess, wanting to drop the belt here or anything like that. So it's kind of being hard to work with, I guess.
I picked up on that. You could tell they were working quick, maybe even excitedly quick. Some of the stuff looked a little sloppy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest. Shawn took, a good bump to the outside. So that was nice. Sherry and Luna had a face-off on the outside. I don't know. I was expecting more out of this. Tatanka, held him off on the outside, chopping him down every time he attempted to get back into the ring. We got a sloppy sunset flip off the top. And you're going to think I'm blowing smoke here, Bob, but I blame Tatanka's inexperience for the match being a little less than clean.
Well, the sunset flip is definitely on Tatanka because he didn't time his bump.
It looked horrible.
He didn't time his bump correctly. He just kind of stood there.
Yeah.
He didn't really roll through it. So that is on Tatanka, my boy. That is back. That is on him. He does come back though out of that to hit Michaels with a DDT. And then he focuses most of his offense on the previously injured left shoulder of Michaels, which they note on commentary.
Yeah, very mat-based stuff that it gets into, which I didn't really expect.
No, I would have thought it was more like a power-based thing. So the constant mat holds and stuff like that. You did? I thought it was going to be a power-based match.
No, I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, I went into it for sure thinking power slams and stuff like that.
I figured we'd see quick, stiff strikes, kind of for the duration, very faster paced. I thought.
I did not think that. So Michaels misses a spear and hits his shoulder on the post.
Nasty. Sounded nasty. Looked nasty. Very effective visual there.
Yeah, and at this point, I was literally watching it thinking, I wonder when Tatanka's going to do a shoulder breaker. This would be a perfect time to do that.
Oh, it's going to happen.
And sure enough, he does. He delivers a shoulder breaker and an elbow drop coming off the ropes. I didn't think the elbow drop off the ropes was necessary. Just go for the pinfall there. Overdid it.
Yeah.
Tatanka hits the overhand chop from off the top, but doesn't go for the cover. Michaels blocks another top rope chop with a super kick in midair.
Oh my God. So, okay, at this point, I kind of felt that the match was running a little too long. But
already at this point?
I did. But Tatanka's bleeding from the mouth. And then as soon as, that, Savate kick, or whatever they're calling it right now, It reminded me of the Shelton Benjamin fucking super kick
Shawn
from
Michaels?
from like 05. It was almost kind of the same thing.
Well, I
in
mean,
93.
Well, Shelton on that one was doing like a springboard across the ring.
Oh, yeah,
that was way
this
better.
is just off the top rope. But like, why isn't that your ending spot? Like, holy shit, you just hit a super kick off the fucking top rope.
Yeah, Tatanka's coming off the top and is met with a...
Yeah,
I mean, I'm surprised you think he was running late or like going on too long. It doesn't seem it's that long into the match.
I just felt like they were kind of running out of stuff to do. Don't get me wrong. We got a lot of back and forth near falls. The crowd was into it. They were even kind of riling behind Sherry to fend off Luna at one point.
Yeah, they have a couple
for Sherry.
Yeah, they have a couple of confrontations on the floor. Luna and Sherry.
Yeah. Shawn pulls the ref out of the ring at one point and got hit with Tatanka's little trail move that he does. And this kind of got into the finish here. The ref, basically decided to throw out the match due to count out?
Okay, so what happened? Okay, this is just drives me... I don't know. I didn't really understand it. But really, before we get to that, though, I did notice that there was a time here where Michaels is taunting Sherry and is acting as if he's going to hit her. Kind of weird.
Yeah, and I think doesn't Sherry be like, F you? And
she does. And that gets a pretty good pop from
yeah.
So Shawn has control at that point, and he gets a couple of near falls with a swinging neck breaker and a standing drop kick. Tatanka comes back with an electric chair slam for another 2 counts.
Which looked good.
Yep. Michaels comes back with a middle rope double axe handle a couple of times, but that causes Tatanka to go on his little warpath.
Of course.
Even a double axe handle off the top. Can't stop Tatanka.
It's like he was hulking up.
Yes.
He was hulking up.
He's the next Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Tatanka chops away on Michaels before going to the top rope and hits a crossbody for a near fall. Tatanka catapults Michaels into the corner and nearly wins with a roll-up.
Yeah.
There's a couple of good near falls here.
Very good.
Tatanka catches Michaels coming off the top with a power slam in midair for a near fall. I like that spot as well.
Yep.
Michaels sends Tatanka to the floor and leaps off the apron, looking to hit a dive, but misses. And Michaels sells it as if he hit the ring steps with his face, but it wasn't even close.
No, yeah. He slammed his hands on it. You could see him do that.
Right, yeah. That was not really that good.
The crowd did react, though.
They did, yes. Michaels pulls the referee out to the floor at this point, and Tatanka hits the end of the trail. Now, my problem with this, though, is that Tatanka goes for the cover. The referee comes back in, circles, bends down on a knee, taps Tatanka on the shoulder, and says the match is over. Why don't you just ring the bell, as soon as... They're forcing a fake title. Like, they want people to think, oh, Tatanka won. I just thought it was really convoluted.
I didn't get it. I thought I remembered Shawn getting a clean victory here.
Oh, no.
I didn't know that it was like a gimmick finish. And I also wasn't sure why neither Sherry or Luna was a factor at all. Like, nothing happened with them.
Yeah, I was expecting maybe a brawl, during the match or something, cause a distraction. Something of that.
Very lame finish to an otherwise pretty decent opening match compared to some of the shows, especially as of late. And despite the hiccups, slow periods, some sloppiness at points, I'd say this match holds up.
I'm surprised you said that because I agree. Aside from the really lackluster finish, the action's pretty solid.
Not bad. For 93,
and here's the thing.
Not bad.
They go over 15 minutes.
I thought it was too long. But
here's the thing. I didn't feel like as if it was 15. When I was watching it, I was like, that was fucking... I think it's almost like 18 minutes. I think it's 18 minutes they go.
I don't know. I did. I felt, for me...
I didn't think it dragged at all.
For me, it felt long. But
I didn't think it dragged at all. It's certainly not a classic or anything, but it's I would say a pretty solid opener.
Put it this way, it put my mind at ease, like, okay, hopefully, if this is any indication, hopefully this show's going to be pretty good.
Right. And I understand the finish, but I mean, at WrestleMania, I don't know if you really want to do that.
Yeah.
Are you really going to end Tatanka's undefeated streak at WrestleMania? Probably not. And do you want Michael's...
Shawn.
Shawn doesn't need that, though. And you can stretch out this undefeated streak for who knows how long.
He did. He looked like a star by now. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he doesn't need to win that.
You're right there.
You got to have somebody else, like a
new guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody similar, like a Bigelow or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
get
what I
that
was just
huge win or something
too.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the bad finish likely prevents people from remembering it as a better match than what they probably think it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I thought it was overall a solid little start to the show. Now, we mentioned that Luna and Sherry don't do anything during the match, but however, after the match, Luna Vachon yanks Sherry Martel off the apron and slams her on the mat on the floor. And then she runs backstage as Tatanka checks on Sherry.
Yeah, Luna clotheslined and body slammed the shit out of Sherry Martel. Yeah. Like, it looked real bad. When she slammed her hard down on that ground, Sherry kind of bounced. And it's like, holy hell.
And you know what? And considering the stories that I've heard about Sherry and stuff, she probably told Luna, hey,
lay it in.
Make it look good.
Oh, yeah.
Because it did. And I really don't normally like women's wrestling. I just don't. It doesn't really
grab
my interest.
Thing.
Yeah,
Sure.
There's been matches.
Oh yeah.
That I've enjoyed.
Right.
But, for the most part, I don't normally seek it out
or want to watch it. Sure.
Yeah. But judging by that right there, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Luna and Sherry square off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd probably tune into that.
Well, they can both work.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, they're not like the pretty girls. Like, I don't want to mess up my...
you put Miss Elizabeth in a match, you're not going to get much out of that.
Well, we're 7 years away from that, so we can dream. We go backstage to where Mean Gene is interviewing the Steiner brothers. They are excited to compete in their first WrestleMania, and they promise it will be one to remember.
Yeah, they're going to make Julius Caesar proud.
Yes.
Awesome.
Can't wait for that. They're up next, actually. The second match of the night is the Steiner brothers against the Headshrinkers.
Yeah, the Headshrinkers already made their entrance by the time we got back to the arena.
It's never a good sign.
I know. Although I still hate the Steiner Brothers theme. I'm sorry, Bob. Hate it.
Well, okay, so it is a guilty pleasure of mine, but it is a bad theme song.
For because the Steiner Brothers?
It doesn't fit them at all. Because they're such badasses, and they just come out to...
Yeah.
Like, no. It doesn't fit...
No.
Who they were. Or,
no.
And like WCW, like, their theme song was such a... Well, that was years later. I'm talking about originally. It was just like, like it just.
Oh, like the
yeah, like a different beat to it. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna come and kick your ass. Now it's like, like, oh, we're dreamers. Yeah. We're gonna do real well.
Yay, high school.
That's exact. I think that's kind of the gimmick. Like, oh, we're college proud. Like, we're gonna win on Saturday.
Yeah, come on, man. What the frig is that crap?
It does not fit there.
I had very high hopes for this match.
I did as well.
I expected this match to be better than the first one.
I did as well. The Headshrinkers are I think they're an underrated tag team.
Hugely, and I would have never agreed with you until we did this podcast.
Really?
Never.
No,
I would have never agreed with that.
Yeah, I would say for sure they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Scott and Fatu start off clubbing away on each other, and Scott turns Fatu inside out with a clothesline. Fatu always does that really well. Spinning for a big guy, he just spins around like
so
nothing.
Well.
Even years later, when he gains considerable amount of weight, he still pulls it off. Steiners get sent to the floor, but they go to the top and take both Headshrinkers out with stereo clotheslines off the top.
Yeah, that looked dangerous. They both got up on the rope.
Well, they were wicked close to each other.
Yeah.
That could have gone really bad, but they pulled it off.
And you know what else I noted too here? The Steiners really, really benefited with Ross on commentary. Because, again, he applied his knowledge to both, both guys. So that jumped out to me immediately. It was like, wow, what a difference Jim Ross is making for the Steiners right now. It seemed like they were there for 10 years.
Right. And the thing is, I mean, obviously they're both from WCW.
Exactly.
So Ross knows years of this thing. It's probably one of his guys,
Yeah. He was even using some of the
Steiner lines.
Yeah,
stuff like
some of the WCW lingo, which was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Afa motivates the Headshrinkers by ramming them into each other headfirst on the floor. Yeah. Jim Ross announces that Sherry has been attacked backstage by Luna in the first aid area.
Yeah.
And Heenan responds with, super!
We never see it, though.
Yeah, no, we never see footage of that. Rick sends Samu face first into the post, and Scott hits a double underhook powerbomb before drop-kicking Fatu off the apron. Samu dangerously drops Scott over the top rope to the floor. It looked like as if it was supposed to be Scott getting dropped over the top rope, like throat first, but then he just flew over to the floor. Like, it was...
Yeah.
And the crowd noticed, but it was like, "Oh, that did not look great."
That probably. And then to top it off, he gets cracked with the bamboo stick.
Oh my god,
so bad.
Lays it in. Oh yeah, that was. Yeah. But this is adding heat to the match. Like, oh shit, they're going after it.
Absolutely.
Scott continues to be worked over by Fatu with a backbreaker and a middle rope headbutt, and then Scott is rammed into the post face first. Fatu no sells being rammed face first onto the mat and drops Scott with a super kick. Nicely done again.
Always with that kick. He's so, I don't know whether his like slap is good or something, but it always looks right on point and it sounds great.
And I remember when he did it to Bret on Raw.
Oh my god!
And it's
right
funny,
on his jaw.
Yeah, and it's funny how you mentioned slapping his, like if he slaps his leg or not. Like he's one of the guys where I can't tell if he's doing it.
I know.
I hate when wrestlers now are just like, oh, I'm gonna wind up
and then
I'm
slap it.
Yeah, that drives me absolutely nuts. Fatu elbows drops Scott while Scott was across Samu's knee. Scott and Fatu collide on double clothesline attempt. Samu misses a top rope diving headbutt. Rick finally gets tagged in and battles it out with Fatu.
Cleaned house.
Yep, cleans house with backdrop and several clothesline. Headshrinkers no sell being sent into each other head first and drop Rick with a double headbutt of their own. I was kind of surprised Rick got caught off quickly into his little heat segment.
I know.
There.
And you know what? This whole time I'm thinking, why isn't this the WWF Tag Team Championship match? Why?
I know. I mean, this is
so
really
good.
Yeah,
so good.
Rick is driven face first into the mat with a reverse side Russian leg sweep. Rick is on Fatu's shoulders as Samu leaps off the top rope, but Rick counters with a power slam in midair. Like, they're just doing insane shit right now.
Oh my god, one thing after the other, and I feel like the crowd is like, holy shit, we're seeing a classic here.
Oh yeah,
I literally wrote down, being here, watching this match live was probably so fun.
Had to have.
Such a good time to watch this live.
Oh yeah. Scott tags in and takes Fatu over with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex, but Samu super kicks Scott shortly afterwards. Scott takes Samu over with the Frankensteiner to win the match.
Mm-hmm. I thought the Frankensteiner was like either a little too quick or it wasn't sold right. But
wasn't as crisp.
It looked kind of shitty.
Yeah, it was not.
Which sucked. I thought the match outdid the first one. Both matches thus far, in my opinion, have been given a little bit too much time, I think. But all things considered, we're almost an hour into the show, and we've only gotten these two matches, but they've been damn good for 93 and what we've seen previous to
this match was very good to me.
I agree.
I thought it was probably the best tag team match we've seen this year so far.
Easily.
And I think it will be really difficult to beat that.
Yep.
Even in defeat, the Headshrinkers, they look like stars.
Absolutely.
And the Steiner brothers are made to look even bigger stars because they beat these guys.
Both teams can go, and you know that leaving this match.
Yeah. Leaving this match, I'm not thinking, the Headshrinkers are going to lose to everybody.
No.
I'd be like, I don't want to mess with the Headshrinkers.
They're coming up, too. They're going to be next, too.
Yeah. So this was an excellent
Put it this way.
match.
Look at either team against Money Inc. Nothing against Money Inc. But either of those teams are probably going to kill Money Inc.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I would take it. I can't envision Ted DiBiase taking a Frankensteiner.
No.
But who knows?
But that's the difference. Yeah.
So coming out of that really good match, we go backstage to Mean Gene, and he's interviewing Doink the Clown, who has made a statue backstage look like a clown. I thought that was like a nice little touch.
Yeah, wig with the clown makeup.
Yep. Gene talks about Doink ripping his arm out of his socket and hitting Crush with it. We get a video to remind us of that. Doink is laughing the entire time until Gene suggests that Crush will have the last laugh tonight.
Yeah, and then he cut it off.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
He's like, okay, I'm not laughing. Like,
yeah.
Doink teases that Crush will see double vision after WrestleMania, and he squirts Gene with water from the flower.
Of course.
So that brings us to our third match of the night. It is Crush against Doink the Clown. Austin, what do you got?
Well, Crush comes out wearing his best highlighter made gear. He is jacked, though. He's looking in pretty damn good shape. And as he's coming out here, Bobby confirmed his position as a broadcast journalist and asked if Ross even had a newspaper in his hometown, to which JR said, yes, it comes out every Friday. And Bobby laughed and said, let me guess, it's written in crayon. Bobby's been on fire tonight again.
Well, this is like a March to WrestleMania IX. He was pretty good on that.
Oh, on fire. Yeah. On fire last week that we talked about.
I did note, though, during Crush's entrance, it didn't seem like he was getting much of a reaction.
Nothing.
Like, the fans were like, we don't care, dude.
And you can tell, even with the commentators talking about newspaper in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's kind of the writing's on the wall, no pun intended. Doink was out next, coming out with an umbrella. He squirted Crush with his jacket flower again, and that set Crush off. He chased right after him. And slammed Doink right on his ass on the outside. Took a nice fucking pretty good bump. To which Doink then begged off. but Crush continued to manhandle him. It was barely a match here. It was mostly Crush taking it to Doink. And I feel like this one was the first one of the night that people really didn't care about. I mean, Doink hit a nice pile driver, and his smile slowly returned as his paint began to disappear, and he kind of got in control of the match a little bit. But this is where, for me, Doink's going to start falling off the wagon a little bit.
Oh, why?
So, speaking of disappearing like his paint, Doink attempts to go under the ring to get away from Crush, but was pulled back out by the Hawaiian brother. The ref took a bump, which led to a second Doink coming out and nailing Crush with that lead arm again. Now, I have to note, they did look very, very similar. And it is another iconic moment from WrestleMania IX, like the reflection spot with the two Doinks. I don't want Doink to turn into more of a gimmick than he already is, though. And that's kind of where it loses me. I mean, he's a clown, I get it. But why this? Why?
It's mind games.
Come on, though. Does anybody really believe that it's a reflection Doink?
Do you ever see the second Doink?
I wish we didn't see the second Doink here.
When they go under the ring to check and find the second Doink, do they find a second Doink?
No, which makes me feel bad for that guy because he was probably under the ring the whole night.
Oh, he had to have been.
So that sucks.
In Las Vegas in April?
In a Doink costume.
Ugh.
Yeah. So he hits him with the lead arm. The original is able to get a pin here. Easy pin on Crush. You know what? I actually forgot that this happened. But after loving all this hype, Crush was unable to get his revenge. After all the stuff he went through and doing it for the kids and getting all the promos, it's like he's still fucking lost.
And this is where he's killed.
People booed the hell out of Doink. He was, which was good. That's the point you want to do. Bill Alfonso comes down, say there was a second Doink. Both refs look under the ring, can't find where the other Doink went. But I just couldn't get over the fact that after all of that, Crush fucking loses.
Well, here's the thing. So he clearly isn't connected with the fans.
Not at all.
Judging by the crowd reaction to this show. So maybe, I don't know how he's been responded to on house shows. So maybe it just isn't connecting.
Maybe the same.
Yeah, so maybe the officials are just thinking, well, we wanted to push Crush, but he's just not getting over. Doink is such a promising heel character.
Absolutely.
Why don't we just have a second Doink attack Crush?
Yeah.
It's kind of in some way saving Crush from complete embarrassment, I guess.
Right.
But no, I think this completely... Because what you're saying is Crush is, I'm going to do it for the kids, and you shouldn't be doing this for kids. And then the kids are going to look like, I can't trust this guy.
I got a concussion. I'm going to get my revenge at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he fucking gets hit with the same fucking fake arm and loses.
Yep.
What kind of story is that? Let's not do something that makes sense. Let's bring in another Doink. Get another Doink out there.
Yeah.
2 Doinks. A Doink Fest. Doinkamania.
Vince, it's okay.
What the fuck is that?
No, I don't.
Fuck 2 Doinks.
I agree with you about the whole... They don't need the second
And
Doink.
it takes away from Matt Bourne a little bit. Maybe we got a second Doink now.
Well, I mean, I would just rather...
Just let Matt Bourne pin him.
Yeah, or just, something.
Like, what the fuck?
I really feel like the people who book these shows are scared to death of having people lose clean.
Dude.
Because they feel like it's going to kill off a character, and then it won't, though.
So, and we're going to see this the rest of the fucking night. But if you're touching on it now, I'm touching on it because I would say 90% of the matches on this card is a hokey bullshit finish.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll touch upon each one.
Like, what the fuck, man?
I know.
It's WrestleMania.
Yeah, and it's as if they're just going to continue them.
It's like they're working to WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania.
Yeah, these are matches that should be on Raws and Superstars leading up to the event. And you're like, oh
my God.
Christ, you had a second doink, hit me in the head. Like, we're meeting.
Let's build it up some more.
At WrestleMania, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like an ass backwards.
Dude, the screwed finishes was getting me so impatient. And don't get me wrong, it was fucking 1, 2 in the morning. But I was getting to the point where it's like, come on, can somebody pin somebody for once?
Right. No,
We'll
I
get through it, but I was starting to see the trend already here.
The first 2 out of the first 3 matches are doing that.
Exactly.
I mean, I didn't think the match was horrible.
I hate to say it about Doink, but I don't think it was good.
I think Doink's performance was pretty good. Crush was kind of
so lackluster. It's like, where was the Crush in the videos with the octopus?
Yeah, it lacked intensity.
Where was that guy?
It lacked intensity because he starts off pretty strong, but as soon as Doink gets control, he just fizzles.
Done. Yeah, he just shuts down.
Oh, done.
Yeah, I suck.
Yeah, it's like the high school bully, where Crush is like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and if you shove him, he's like, what?
Oh, dude, stop! Stop, dude!
Come on, brother, we're family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
that type of
very,
bullshit.
very disappointed.
I would not expect Crush to get a prominent role in a face capacity because after this, I don't think he should be challenging for much of anything. So as we mentioned, a second referee comes out and tries to tell the referee, "Oh, hey, there's a second Doink."
Yeah.
They go searching for the Doink. They can't find him. So Doink wins the match. He's good.
Yes.
Coming out of that, we go to Todd Pettengill. And he's in the crowd, and he's talking to Japanese photographers who don't understand what the hell he's talking about.
Well, this felt like a gimmick to me, though.
100%.
Because he goes to talk to him about the 2 Doinks, but the guy immediately starts talking about Yokozuna.
Yeah.
He keeps saying, "Oh, we're up here in the euchre seats." I don't know what that means, Bob Euchre, but like, what's he got to do with anything?
So like the baseball commentators.
Yeah.
Well, they're usually like sitting.
High
up.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this whole Japanese media thing, you can tell it's like a gimmick.
Yeah.
Which is
that's how I took it as.
It's stupid.
Coming out of that, we go to our 4th match of the night, and it is probably the most highly anticipated match. It's Razor Ramon against Bob Backlund.
All decked out in black, Razor.
That's my favorite Razor. I like the all black.
I'll give you that one.
Bob Backlund comes running out to no music, and not a lot of people seem to care about him.
I was hoping Bob was going to get just destroyed. Drop him on his neck. Just hurt him.
Wow,
just hurt him.
I can tell that you must have been watching this pretty late at night because now you're just getting angry.
I was.
Fucking kill him.
I expected a short match, and I like when Bob went for a handshake, Razor toothpicked him. Because fuck you, Bob Backlund. You're boring.
Trademark.
The crowd even chanted for Razor huge right at the get-go. Huge. And I don't ever recall seeing this match. Probably because it was a relatively short match. I don't know, Bob. What'd you think here?
Well, like you, I was anticipating a quick match, and luckily it was. It goes less than like 4 minutes. It's like three and some change. It's just the contrast of styles here.
So bad.
It's really bad.
So bad.
And you have Ramon, who's working with a bad knee and has a staph infection.
Yeah.
And you're having him wrestle with an amateur wrestler.
Right.
What?
I just feel like Bob Backlund's style, I feel like sucks. Like it's just too wild. His offense makes it hard for a match to pull off. Like if your opponent is Bob Backlund and you have to go out and have a 20-minute classic, fucking good luck. Cuz his offense and just his style is so unorthodox and it's like rushed. I don't know. It looks ridiculous. Backlund basically gets pinned with a quick roll up here. And I gotta say at this point I was like, oh, all my favorite guys are winning matches. So I was into it. Other than Tatanka, of course.
Well, he didn't technically win. He's won by... I don't even know why he was a count out that first match.
I know.
It should have been DQ if he pulled him out.
Yeah, because when did they count to 10? They didn't.
They didn't. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
But so back to this Ramon Backlund thing. I was kind of shocked to see Bob take Ramon over with a double underhook suplex.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Razor Ramon.
Doesn't really fit there. This guy's significantly smaller than Ramon. Yeah. He just tosses him like it's no big
deal. He must have called that on the fly, and Ramon was probably like,
what the fuck is a double underhook suplex?
Just throw it, amigo.
Yeah. But as you know, Ramon steals it with an inside cradle. Not even a convincing win.
Oh
really.
my God!
Like, how do you not just
weak? It was weak.
How do you just have Backlund take the razor's edge and call it a day?
Exactly.
Don't understand that.
Exactly.
This certainly felt like a match that did not need to be on the Mania show. This could have been on the March to WrestleMania 9.
Yep,
Why not just put it on there?
Easily.
And I don't even know. I mean, I wouldn't consider it a good win for Ramon.
No, it was an excuse to get him on the show. That's all it was.
Yeah, just build up more the new talents, I guess.
That's all.
So coming out of that victory, we have a backstage interview. Me and Gene is with the WWF Tag Team Champions, Money Incorporated, and thinks they are in danger of losing the titles. We had a video to remind us of what happened to cause all this feud and whatever with the Mega Maniacs. Ted DiBiase says that Las Vegas is their backyard, and it's not good odds for them to lose.
Yeah, he says it's time. The time is now to put up or shut up. Basically, the stakes are higher here, and the bankroll is going to be higher for whoever wins. So they're going to get a bigger payoff. Then IRS cuts a devastating promo, saying that they're going to rip the protective mask off of Beefcake's face and beat his face into oblivion. He then says that after Money Inc. is done with him, his face is going to look like a jigsaw puzzle with a few of the pieces missing. Fucking brutal. IRS rips him to shreds.
That's the type of stuff you need, though.
He also makes mention of Hogan's face being injured tonight after an accident. Dude, I gotta say, though, having not really seen, I guess, enough of IRS before all of this, I am a fan 100%. His promo work is highly underrated. He can talk.
Oh, yeah.
And when he talks, I feel like he means it. He convinces me.
Like, you think he's really going to go out there and just destroy Beefcake's face?
Into oblivion. He's going to do whatever he has to do to just fucking
It's going to be like a jigsaw puzzle, but a few pieces missing.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I'm turning into an IRS fan, and I got to say, Bob, you were right on that one.
What? Oh.
You were right.
Look at that.
Money Inc. is starting to win me. It has won me over.
So you note that they heard that Hogan got in a little accident leaving the gym.
Yeah.
And IRS suggests that they may have paid someone to hurt Hogan.
Yes.
Which leads us now to the WWF Tag Team Championship matches. Money Incorporated defends against the Mega Maniacs. I gotta tell you, I'm really surprised that this match is going on this early.
So early? Oh, Mr. Co-Main event? What happened?
Well, no, so I'm thinking that, and I was like, okay. Well, last year at WrestleMania 8, Savage and Flair go on mid of the show, and the main event was Hogan Justice.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, I guess
That's
I get that.
Still.
I would have been pissed if Bret Yoko was right now.
Oh my god! And
I
then you
been
had
pissed.
this be the closer.
I would have been pissed.
Oh, that would have been so bad.
Yeah.
Good thing they didn't do that.
Well, because they can't, because something happens. So Hogan's left eye is
Disgusting.
oh my god.
It looks like a magic 8-ball.
Yeah, it looks like it just happened.
Yes.
You know,
like on his way to the arena.
Somebody just beat the shit out of him and
Yeah.
he just went
Yeah.
real. I mean, it is black and blue,
Gross.
bloodshot. It is somebody did something like really good to him.
Yeah.
Urban legend is that Savage beat the shit out of him.
I know. I have heard that.
And I kind of want to believe it
I've
because
heard
Savage
that.
on commentary is like, oh, look at that eye.
Oh, he makes quite a mention to
As
it.
if he's kind of putting himself over. Like, yeah, I fucking did that.
Yeah. Although, I guess what? The quote-unquote real story is a wave runner accident. Like he...
Yeah, real story.
Yeah.
Probably hanging
wave
out.
runners
No,
crashed
it was
into each other.
probably a parasailing accident. He was with Beefcake.
Yes.
And Beefcake was like...
Beefcakes had the mask on, so it didn't hurt.
Right.
But it hit
then
Hogan. Yeah.
But Hogan's like supernatural, so like he's
gonna-
okay.
yeah,
And he
he's
probably looked at Beefcake like, you're a sucker.
Yeah.
You missed 2 years of your wrestling career night.
And I'm fine.
I'm good.
I thought that Money Inc. was looking good in their white and gold gear here. Yep. And, of course, Hogan and Beefcake got, smoke, the whole 9 yards.
I didn't like the yellow and red
stupid.
smoke.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I thought Hulk looked noticeably smaller
Yes.
since the last time we've seen him in action. Again, not to mention his eye was a wreck. I was surprised to see this match here on the card in this spot. I was expecting it to be at least a little bit later. But you know what? I'm glad that they're getting it out of the way.
Well, I would think... So there's, 8 matches on the show? I would think this would be like match 6.
Yeah.
And then you have a filler match.
And then the main event. Yeah,
Instead, this is going on 5th.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty early to me.
Like, you could have had Undertaker Gonzalez here. or something like that.
You could do Luger perfect.
Luger perfect.
Like, why is that going on after this? That doesn't make much sense to me.
Right.
So Money Incorporated, they try to attack before the bell, with IRS looking to hit Beefcake with the briefcase really early on.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work out, and the champs get tossed to the floor quickly. Mega Maniacs, pose and whatever. IRS and Beefcake end up legally starting the match, with Beefcake getting worked over as expected. DiBiase tries to do a double axe handle on Beefcake, but the mask is on, so it doesn't hurt him, and instead it hurts DiBiase instead.
Right, yeah.
Pretty...
the rubber mask.
The expected, I think, storyline for the match there.
And you know what? I don't know if you picked up on this or not, but Hogan kept threatening to punch the ref. Like, he kept doing it. And I don't know if that was to show that he's willing to do whatever it takes to beat down Money Inc., if that means stretching the rules. But,
well, if he hits the ref, it means over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is your first match back and you keep threatening to hit the ref? Like, what? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
That annoyed me.
So, as I noted there, that the mask prevents from Beefcake from feeling any pain.
Mm-hmm.
So Money Incorporated decide, hey, we're gonna ram Beefcake face first into the corner, but again, he isn't affected by it. Instead, DiBiase, who tried doing it, is affected by it because he doesn't have a metal mask on his face.
Exactly.
Hogan gets a good reaction upon being tagged in and clobbers away on DiBiase with right hands. DiBiase continues to be worked over as Hogan comes off the middle rope with a double axe handle as Beefcake held DiBiase. I don't remember the last time I've seen Hogan come off the middle rope, to be honest with you.
Isn't me? So the place is going nuts for Hogan, obviously.
Oh, yeah. They don't give a shit about Beefcake.
They don't give a shit.
This is all about Hogan.
I thought Hogan looked sickly small.
Yeah, when you said he looked smaller than he normally did, to me, visually, it's as if his legs were toothpicks compared to
he
what
looks
they
sick.
were.
Like the way his like midsection is kind of sunken in.
Yeah.
It just he looked like not good at all. And I just kept going back to that. It's like, okay, this is Hogan, but it don't feel like it. This ain't the same guy we're talking about here. I don't know. I couldn't get off of that.
I know. I completely agree with you, and that's pretty much how it is for the entire run,
right,
for him in this era at least. Right. Hogan sends Money Incorporated to the floor to get a big ovation from the crowd, and the champs decide that they've had enough and they're going to walk out.
Here we go.
Unfortunately, the referee decides, hey, if you don't come back before the count of 10, I'm going to ship you the championships, and you lose the match.
Yeah, what?
So Money Incorporated's like, what? You got to do that? This is ridiculous. So they run back into the ring, and then they end up getting control of Hogan by choking him with the tag rope.
Yeah.
DiBiase puts the $1 Million Dream on Hogan, but isn't able to get a submission. He keeps it on, though, for a few minutes.
Well, and during this time, too, so IRS chokes him with it, and then at one point he throws the string to Ted, who, like, instinctively caught it and used it. It just shows that they're such a good team that they don't even need to think about stuff.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that Ted wasn't planning on using that tag rope, but he made it as if that was planned weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Just the way they work together is, I think, has to be mentioned. But, of course, go ahead. I had to put that in there.
No, that's good things to notice there. Hogan gets a second win, but again is dropped to the mat with $1 Million Dream. IRS tries to get in the ring, which distracts the ref, and the Beefcake comes in and puts a sleeper hold on DiBiase and almost instantly knocks him out.
Yeah.
Like, boom, he's asleep. I didn't quite understand how that works out.
Yeah.
IRS gets the hot tag, as does Beefcake, and Beefcake cleans house. DiBiase hits Beefcake over the back with the briefcase from the floor. So Beefcake's coming off the ropes. DiBiase hits him with the briefcase over the back. Beefcake's mask has been taken off. Finally, you'd think that'd be the first thing that the champions would do here. And Money Inc. Deliver a few shots to his face.
Immediately.
Yep. Beefcake fights back with a leaping clothesline to knock the champs down. So, this guy's face got destroyed.
Right.
He has to wear a mask.
Right. That's titanium.
Right. The mask is titanium, not his face. So they take that off.
Yeah.
They beat his face, and then he immediately fights back.
Well, remember, he's got titanium plates in his face.
Then why is he wearing a fucking mask?
Double protection, brother.
I don't understand. No, that stuff breaks. So Brutus puts a sleeper hold on IRS. DiBiase saves IRS, hitting Beefcake from behind. But the referee is knocked down too. So we got a ref bump. Hogan gets in the match and big boots DiBiase and decks the champs with Beefcake's mask. Mega Maniacs have 2 covers, but the referee isn't up. So, logically here, Jimmy Hart decides, hey...
Their manager.
Right. Mega Maniacs manager, Jimmy Hart, decides, hey, my jacket just so happens to have referee stripes. So let me turn my jacket inside out and reveal, hey, I'm a ref now. It counts the fall to give the Maniacs the victory. Of course, there's no bell that sounds. So Jimmy Hart's not a legal referee, so that can't happen. So a second referee comes out, and everybody thinks, oh, okay, great. Well, Mega Maniacs, they did it. They won the belts. Well, the second referee gets down on his knee and raises the arms of Money Incorporated. You're probably thinking, what? How did that happen? Well, Money Incorporated, I guess, wins the match by disqualification since they used the mask.
Yeah.
So Money Incorporated technically win by disqualification. After the match, Money Incorporated try to attack again, but fail and bail to the floor after the Mega Maniacs kind of, thwart that. Maniacs allow Jimmy Hart to toss the second referee to the floor. Don't know why Jimmy Hart's getting so much attention. So Hogan and Beefcake have the briefcase that Money Incorporated have had for a year now.
Right.
And there is a brick in there, along with some cash, which Hogan does a stupid dance over as if he's never had a wad of cash before.
Yeah, well, there's tax forms in a brick and some money.
Right.
And Hogan teases as if he was going to throw it in the crowd. So he's got the money. He sets the money down on the mat and poses. And I feel like the whole crowd was like, oh, we wanted the money. It's just like, they're like, fuck you, Hogan. We wanted that. And he poses for him.
Yeah. So they end up going to the floor and they give some money to fans.
Yeah.
But as they're doing it, I'm noticing Beefcake as if he's trying to count it to see how much he's giving away. Because he's like going to not want to give all of it away.
Right.
He's like looking through it. Okay, where are the ones and fives?
Well, he's smart because Hogan's getting his paycheck.
Oh, he probably got it.
Yeah.
Like that day. So.
That's the only money he probably made that night.
Why did it be Beefcake's? That was the rib.
Paycheck?
That was the rib. Like, hey, Beefcake, how much money did you guys give away? Oh, all of it. Yeah, so that was your payday. You say, what? Fuck.
I went in the desert and I cut some cactuses and some mountains.
I broke it in my nose for this. Okay, this match got easily like the biggest hype going into it.
Easily.
Okay. It doesn't. I don't think it delivers.
It sucked.
Based off of what was promoted.
Sucked.
I don't think it was horrible.
Thought it sucked.
I didn't think it was horrible. Money Incorporated just isn't being presented on the same level.
Nothing.
Like, not even close.
No.
The build going into it, you may think, okay, these guys are heartless. They'll do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Exactly.
And then this one, it's just, in the match itself, it's not that at all.
Nothing. And the thing that kills me is Money Inc. has delivered with the promos. They have delivered in the squash matches. They have pretty much delivered, I mean, other than a few bumps, up until this point. What is the Mega Maniacs proven up until this point? Nothing.
Well, it took Hogan 7 days to get from Venice Beach to New York.
On a sea glider.
Right, instead of, a plane. And then Beefcake gets drilled in the face with a briefcase, and within 5 minutes, he's okay.
Yeah.
Just a little dust up, I guess.
Right.
So they've proven that.
I don't know, man.
Beefcake's also proven that he can't get sympathy from a crowd despite his family dying and his wife leaving him. People just don't give a fuck about that. So, well, this was just another situation where they booked themselves in a corner. You're not gonna put the belts on Mega Maniacs. Let's be real.
Why not?
Come on.
You build them up this whole time. Put the belts on them.
You're gonna tell me right now you're gonna have Hogan,
the Headshrinkers beat him.
I was just gonna say you're gonna have hey Hogan, Beefcake. I need you guys to lay down for Fatu and Samu tonight.
Yep.
So Hogan, Fatu's gonna come off the ropes, top rope, splash you, 1, 2, 3, call it a day.
Damn right.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Damn right.
He would never in a million years do that.
Oh well. Then leave.
Yeah. If only they could afford that to have Hogan just peace out on it.
Fuck him.
I don't know, man. I don't think I hated it as much as you did.
I don't know. I was very disappointed for that being the main build of the card. Like, really?
Yeah, I mean, they had a formula match here, and the action-wise...
Yeah, WrestleMania.
It was all right.
What the fuck? Come on, give me more than that.
I don't think it was horrible. The finish is just ridiculous.
Terrible.
The action prior to that is not as bad.
Not great, either.
So after that, we go to Todd Pettengill. And he chats with Natalie Cole, who doesn't seem very interested.
Not at all. She's like blowing him off.
Yeah, and he quickly sidesteps it. Okay, well, here's the CEO of Caesar's Palace, and they kind of talk about what's going on. And then,
the CEO was really into it and kind of put it over pretty good.
Well, yeah, and then Todd's like, I'm going to give you a hug, and the guy's just like, oh, yeah, okay.
Well, I feel like the CEO just kept talking, and it was like getting to the point where they got to get out of there, and Todd would kind of like cut him off. He's like, I'm going to hug you, man.
Yeah, I'm going to hug you.
The guy was like,
I'm going to squeeze you so you can't say nothing.
Yeah, and then they cut away from that.
Yeah, no,
so it was awkward. I think Todd Pettengill sucks, but...
He's just an awkward guy. Coming out of that, we go backstage. Mean Gene interviews Mr. Perfect, who you wouldn't even think he's on the show if you haven't been watching TV.
Literally.
Perfect notes that Lex Luger hit Bret Hart with a cheap shot during the breakfast conference that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Perfect says he is exactly what he is, and he completely botches Luger's name, mixing up like the Lex Narcissus.
He flubbed his words so bad.
I can't even tell you what he said.
I almost wanted to think that
Lex,
it was
like Lex Narcissus Luger.
I almost wanted to think
weird.
that he was doing it as a joke.
No, it was not. He fucked up.
Because he messed it up at least 4 times in a row. Like, he couldn't get the name.
Yeah.
So he, like, just kind of was like, I'm ready for WrestleMania.
I'm just excited. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The closing time when he said it, he just fucked it up.
Yeah, and then he abandoned ship. He was like, I'll see you out there.
Which is ironic because he's Mr. Perfect.
And can't say a name.
He can't say a name.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
So that is arguably the most hype that we've gotten out of that feud because
Literally.
So Perfect can't pronounce his name. That's pretty much what we're going with. So the 6th match of the night is Lex Luger, the narcissist Lex Luger, against Mr. Perfect. Luger comes out with several beautiful women. I mean, smoking hot. The girl on the left-hand side of him.
Great asses.
Well, yeah, but the girl...
Great.
So I guess like if you're watching it to the left of Luger, his right...
The blonde girl?
No, darker hair.
Okay.
Smoking hot.
Yeah.
I mean, holy fuck.
Yeah.
The blonde girl, they're walking out, and she's like slapping people's hands.
Yeah.
Like she's a worker. Like, no, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
No, man, they're looking for Luger. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, yeah, thanks.
I do remember that.
I'm like, oh, God.
Although, you know what? This is iconic. You know, the ladies in the mirrors. Remember when we were talking about a couple episodes ago, first thing that comes to my mind when I think of WrestleMania IX is Luger in the mirrors.
No, the togas.
Well...
Oh, so you fucked that. Yeah, you lied to me on that one,
visually, yes,
whatever,
the togas, but as far as...
No, yeah, the mirrors and like the fireworks.
Like the people,
Pyro. But during the entrance there, though, Macho Man is like hitting on them. Ooh,
my God.
Every time.
They were all the commentators were drooling over the ladies in the ring.
Jim Ross almost had a stroke.
Well, hey. Heenan even says that one of them was giving him the eyes last night in the casino.
Oh, I bet.
He goes, oh, yeah, you see that one right there? She would give me the eyes in the casino.
Yeah, I bet she was.
And Macho Man was like, oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah. It's just like no selling it.
Yeah. So the match starts off with Luger cheap-shotting Perfect with an eye rake.
Wait.
What?
When Perfect comes out
yeah.
and the girls are going in the back, I feel like one of the girls like tried to go up to Perfect and he like pushed her aside and like brushed her away.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. She rubs her hand on him.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, yeah.
And he like pushes her
away.
he's
just like, get the fuck out.
He like laughs, but he's like,
yeah. No, I do. I do
remember
that.
Oh my God. I thought that was
because
so
usually
funny.
with the entrances, like I'll just zone out for a minute or something and not really pay attention. But when he comes out, like I'm checking out because I knew the girls would be walking by him. Yes. So I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? Maybe something happens. I was not expecting him to be like, oh, hey, Mr. Perfect.
And he was like, get the fuck away from me.
He just completely dismisses it. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
No, that is...
So get these hussies away from me.
Who knows what you got?
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, Luger cheap shots Perfect with an eye rake to start the match, but Perfect comes back with a knee lift and a drop kick to send Luger to the floor. Perfect backs Luger into the corner and is met with a cheap shot as the referee was out of position. Perfect takes Luger down to the mat, focuses his attack on the left knee. Nothing really setting the world on fire here.
No, but I think, you know what? I still think Perfect is a little underrated in the fact that he's lightning quick. And he's carrying this match. If there's any interest in this match, it's because of Mr. Perfect.
There is no interest in the match, and he's carrying this match to nothing.
Oh.
So Luger gets control of the match, managing to keep advantage by working over Perfect's lower back. He hits a backbreaker for a 2 count. Luger tries to win the match with a roll-up with his feet on the ropes, but the referee sees that.
Yes.
So Luger's like, what?
Yeah,
You
he gets
didn't
caught.
Yeah, so he doesn't get the cheap win. I almost thought that was the finish.
Yeah.
Because I thought in my head, I was like, I thought that was it, but
Right.
I must have remembered wrong. So Luger nearly wins with a power slam shortly after that. Perfect goes for a sunset flip for a near fall, and then locks in a sleeper hold for just a quick moment. Perfect almost wins with an inside cradle, and then he backdrops Luger and sends Luger chest first into the turnbuckles. Luger is catapulted into the top turnbuckle as well, chest first. Luger is begging off in the corner, but Perfect continues to be on him with right hands. Perfect gets a near fall following a swinging neckbreaker, which looked kind of awkward. I had to, I rewinded it. At first, I didn't think it looked that bad, but I went back and I was like, yeah, this doesn't look like it was perfectly executed.
No.
Perfect comes off the top with a missile drop kick for a near fall, which surprised me. I wasn't expecting a missile drop kick from Mr. Perfect.
No, I agree.
That caught me off guard. Luger counters with a backslide of his own as he. So Perfect goes for a backslide, I should say, and then Luger puts his foot like on the middle rope, and then counters it, and then so Luger takes him out of the backslide, and Perfect has his feet over the ropes, but the referee didn't see it, and Luger gets the win.
Another screwed finish, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a bullshit finish.
Another one. Why? If you're gonna have Luger go over, let him fucking pin Mr. Perfect.
Well, the only thing I can think of is you have Mr. Perfect cleanly beat Flair. Do you really want to job him out already to Luger?
If Luger's heading into being your main event heel, yeah. Absolutely. That's how wrestling works.
I don't disagree with you, but when something happens here pretty soon, we'll probably talk about it a little bit more. So, Perfect can't believe it. He's like, what?
Me
My
neither.
feet are on the rope is
What
bullshit.
the fuck, man?
So Luger shows some sympathy here and just decks him with a running forearm.
Yeah, wicked cheap shot forearm.
Lays him out.
Yeah.
So that pretty much ends the segment for the most part. Considering the talents involved, this had zero crowd rate. I mean, the crowd did not. I felt like the crowd didn't give a shit.
Do you blame them?
No.
Why was it even a match?
I know. There's nothing attached to this to even care. So I really didn't care. And I would say it's probably the worst thing I've seen on the show so far.
Ooh, I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, I enjoy the Mega Maniacs Money Incorporated. Like, that finish is stupid too. But in ring wise, it was more enjoyable to me than this was. And there was like the crowd was into it, like, oh yeah,
the crowd was. I mean, from a personal standpoint, I always appreciate Mr. Perfect. I know you're not the biggest fan.
I'm really not.
But I thought I ended up liking this match more than I thought I would because I fucking hate Lex Luger and there's no build. So that was a pleasant surprise, although I don't know, it wasn't great. The finish was stupid again.
Well, I kind of feel like as if they were destined to fail anyway. I mean, coming right after the tag title match, and again, nothing really being built up for it. It's kind of hard to get a winner out of that. Mm-hmm. So Mr. Perfect's like really pissed off about what's happened. So he decides, I'm going to go backstage.
This was cool.
Yeah, this was actually a pretty good segment. So he goes backstage looking for Luger, and he finds Luger, who's talking with Shawn Michaels.
Which is weird.
Yeah, they've never had any kind of interaction prior, so I don't know what's going on there. But Perfect runs over to Perfect and just attacks him. And he
runs over to Luger, you mean?
Who did I say?
Perfect runs over to Perfect.
Oh, I didn't even realize he said that. Yeah, Perfect runs over to Luger and beats the shit out of him for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, for fucking cheating.
Right. You know, that's just bullshit because Perfect's never done that. He does everything the right way.
Exactly. He's a straight shooter.
Yep. Yeah, he's never done anything illegal ever.
Okay, so get on with it.
So Perfect's beating on Luger until Shawn Michaels comes out of nowhere. And
what the fuck?
Just beats the shit out of Perfect with a trash can.
Pissed. It's like we were having a great conversation.
We were talking about vitamins. Yeah, the girls.
ICOPRO.
I was trying to make a deal for the blonde.
Yeah, he was giving me his gimmick bag, opening up for some steroids, good stuff.
Cut me off, yeah. Bullshit. So Michaels just beats the shit out of Perfect with the trash can.
Oh yeah,
he just beats the shit out.
Yeah, he does. He grabs the fucking trash can. We get
there's like boxes too and stuff like that.
There's a whole bunch of shit. Sticks.
Yeah.
And mind you, Luger was like gone.
Oh, he jetted out.
He was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
So it's obvious it's an angle being set up here with Perfect and Shawn. Obvious.
Yeah. So obviously several officials come over and break them up, what have you.
Yep.
So my takeaway from this is, so Perfect loses to Luger.
Right.
And is now being inserted, essentially, into an Intercontinental title feud. This is what they're leading up. How else can they be doing here?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I don't get that.
I mean, I know that his feet were on the ropes or whatever. It's not a, convincing win or what have you, but he still lost at WrestleMania, and he's going to essentially get rewarded with a title shot?
Well, and especially, too, because it's not over between Shawn and Tatanka. So, that's confusing. Why are they already lining up another opponent when kind of there's unfinished business still between Shawn and Tatanka?
I think politically, Shawn doesn't want to work with Tatanka.
Oh, I think that's obvious.
But on television, that's...
You're expecting a return match.
Yeah, that hasn't concluded. And, in the return match, I would imagine Tatanka would actually win.
I know.
Would actually win the title.
I know.
That's how I would take it. But
yep.
So, no, but the segment, though, let's not get it mistaken. The segment is really good.
Yes, this backstage, intensity, it's really good.
Pretty good stuff. So, Perfect Michaels, is that something you'd be into?
Yes.
That's it, just yes?
I would say so because, okay, so with the right opponent, Perfect can have a pretty damn good match.
Absolutely, with Bret Hart. Literally, Bret Hart.
So with Shawn, I have hopes.
I do too. I hope that
I prefer, put it this way, I prefer Mr. Perfect over Tatanka. I know that's going to break your heart, but I do.
Well, here's the thing. Now, I wish I could jokingly sit here and say that I prefer Tatanka over Mr. Perfect, but judging by what I've seen, I've enjoyed Tatanka more than I have Mr. Perfect.
Oh my God, Bob! Come on.
I really
you
have.
fucking kidding me?
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you now. There's probably several people who are going to be listening to this, being like, "Oh, fuck this guy." There's no way. So
yeah, me, motherfucker.
No, but if maybe I should just take a transcript of matches, and then read them to you, and be like, "Oh, hey, that was Mr. Perfect." Mr. Perfect's offense is pretty much nothing. It's the snapmare. He'll do the flip neck breaker thingy-majig, and then Perfect Plex.
Well, he does his knee.
A running knee lift, and then a 1 foot drop kick because he never hits the guy with 2 feet.
Yeah, but you can say that about so many guys.
I just named his entire moveset.
I could do the same for Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Kevin Nash.
Yeah, well, Bret Hart's moveset is substantially more entertaining than Mr. Perfect's. A knee lift, a seated rolling neck snap, Perfect Plex, and then a drop kick with 1 foot.
I don't know. He's a good hand. Is he a main eventer?
No. But then meanwhile, you got Tatanka, who's coming off the top rope with a chop. And he's on his feet with chops.
Fuck you.
And then he's got hip tosses.
Fuck that bullshit. You can't even be serious.
And then he has a Samoan drop.
And a scalp that Shawn Michaels
a power slam. He kept his scalp. He kept
whatever.
That. And he has a power slam.
Fuck that.
And he can dance a little bit.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, but seriously, Mr. Perfect, no.
Just stop.
I'm not a Mr. Perfect guy.
Stop
For the longest time, I've wanted to like Mr. Perfect. I've wanted to be like, yeah, man, Mr. Perfect's great. Because everybody always tells me, oh, Mr. Perfect's one of my favorites. He's a great promo.
And character.
Yeah. But in ring, it's like, no, I'm sorry. If he isn't wrestling Bret Hart as of 1993, if he's not wrestling Bret Hart...
Well, his AWA stuff is good.
I'm talking about WWF.
Whatever, man.
AWA with, Backlund and stuff, sure. That's a different style, though.
Yeah,
they do whatever they want.
And that's not Mr. Perfect. That's Curt Hennig.
That's Curt Hennig, right. So he's playing the character or whatever. But Mr. Perfect, okay, in this era, not Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, for me.
How he's remembered.
Yes. I guess I'm not well connected to it.
He's the middle of the road guy for me. He's not my favorite, one of my favorites. I wouldn't even say he's even in my top 20. But I am definitely more of a fan of Mr. Perfect than fucking Tatanka.
Whatever.
And you are too. You are too.
When you guys, when we hear from people, I want to know right now, Tatanka or Mr. Perfect? Who do you like? I feel like it's going to be overwhelmingly Mr. Perfect.
You think? You sure about that?
I'm afraid of that poll result.
Holy shit.
It's 4,009 Perfect and 1 for Tatanka.
Yeah,
and the one's me.
Yeah.
So coming out of that backstage segment, we go back to commentary, where Randy Savage is arguing with Bobby Heenan at the commentary table before we go to Gorilla Monsoon, who promotes the Undertaker Giant Gonzalez feud.
Yeah, Savage is so worked up here. He stands from his chair and starts getting in Bobby's face. And I thought it was a little overplayed. Because, like, really, like, you're letting Bobby Heenan work you up so bad? Like, come on.
Well, he's just riled up, man. He wants in the action.
Well, yeah. There's no doubt.
He would have hit an old lady in the front row if he could get on the show.
Probably.
He's desperate. So coming out of that, we go to our 7th match of the night. I guess it's arguably in the co-main event spot. Really,
Can we
right?
skip this one, please, Bob?
No, we're going to spend an hour on it. We are going to spend an hour on this one.
Now, don't forget here, people. It's probably at this point 1:30 a.m. that I have this on. And, oh, my God, it took everything in my power not to shut this fucking TV off when this match came out.
I don't know how you survived.
At 1 a.m.,
Yeah,
1:30 a.m.
I'm watching this match.
Yeah.
So Bobby Heenan comically tries to convince us that Gonzalez is 20 feet tall. But Jim Ross quickly shoots that down. He's like, no, he's 8 foot.
Yeah, like, let's be serious.
Yeah. Like, come on, Bobby. He's not 20 feet. Taker tries to get some offense in with right hands.
Whoa.
What?
You build it up, you talk about it every time, and then you skip right over it?
What?
Gonzalez's gear.
Oh, it's spray painted fucking
It was
suit?
different this time.
How was it different?
There was no physical hair on the suit. It was all spray paint this time, the whole thing.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah. It looked like fucking hell. It looked horrible.
Yeah. Because I remember at the end when he like steps out, I noticed that.
Yeah, it was all airbrush, this version. There's no hair on it whatsoever. So it looked horrible. It looked like his backup gear. So bad.
Like he forgot.
Yeah. Undertaker gets smoke for his entrance. He emerges with the Vulture.
I was going to say,
again.
okay, yeah, Vulture.
Iconic.
See, but these entrances, I just tend to zone out, so I didn't care.
Come
and
on.
I knew what I was going to...
Those are the best parts.
I knew what I was about to see.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
I know.
why I probably wasn't heavily focused on it. But yes, I do remember the bird.
The crowd did stir when Undertaker entered the ring, so they were hyped up to see this, I feel like. They had interest in this.
Well, I mean...
And like we touched on it last week, that it's, it is 8-foot creature taking on the Undertaker.
Well, here's the thing. So you think of the matches that are promoted for this show. Obviously, Mega Maniacs Money Incorporated, number 1.
Yes,
Heavy
easily.
I would argue that this is the second one. Considering what happened at the Royal Rumble and like the last...
I would say Shawn, Tatanka.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I would say they're second, maybe third, probably third.
This is third then.
Yeah, I would say third.
Was I going to say second?
Yeah, you said second.
Yeah, third then. Yeah, Tatanka,
which
Shawn.
is surprising because, the main event's maybe fourth.
Maybe. Well,
Maybe.
Doink and Crush, fuck.
Oh, then the main event is fifth.
Fifth, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Right.
Fucking the Steiner Brothers and Headshrinkers got a couple promos.
Yeah, decent. Yeah,
You know, a
decent
couple of
little-
mentions.
Yeah.
So Taker tries to get some offense early on with right hands, but Gonzalez low blows Taker on the middle rope, and then Taker walks the ropes and does his trademark, jumping down on Gonzalez's arm. Gonzalez comes out of the corner with a running clothesline and beats on Taker with basic strikes. Gonzalez isn't really keeping me interested though. With
Well, it
his
just
offense.
gets to a point where they were both choking each other.
Yeah.
It's like, I hated this match.
I mean,
dude. I hated
you're
this
pretty
match.
limited though with a guy that fucking tall.
Well,
I
when
mean,
you're
what the hell can he
Undertaker,
do?
who's 7 foot himself,
He's not 7 foot.
well, whatever.
Undertaker?
6'10", maybe, or whatever.
Like 6'8". Something like that. 6'10".
It's like, how do you have two? It's like the Twin Towers fighting. Like that's
Right.
like what? It's always got to be like a David versus Goliath, or
Well,
you got to have some sort of story. It's just like two.
I think Taker is noticeably shorter,
Absolutely.
so it's not like
Yeah.
Yeah,
but but I'm saying like his offense is limited as it is because he's like a zombie dead man,
yeah.
and then you have a giant creature guy who just swings his arms.
Yeah.
It's like, where was the interest here? What is the selling point for me?
I was thinking about that too as I was watching the match. Like, here's a giant creature man against a dead man. What the hell can they possibly pull off?
And they're both no selling each other's moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're both no selling. So it's just like we're getting nothing here. There's no substance here.
It's just the attraction of Gonzalez. And Taker. That's really what
I know.
this match is all about. Taker is sent to the floor, and Gonzalez rams Undertaker face first into the steps, and he's also sent knee first into the steps. I kind of thought Taker was supposed to do like a flip over.
It looked like he was supposed to, but he like didn't make it.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Prior to that, Gonzalez had Taker in a headlock for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was...
For, like, forever.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Bob, but it seems like the second half of this card has been considerably weaker than the first half.
100%.
Considerably weaker.
So let's say the first half, Money incorporated Hulk Hogan in them, or is the main event.
Yeah, that's the first half of the... Right.
Like,
yeah.
that's okay.
Right.
Like, the grand scheme of things, it's okay.
That's a decent show.
Right. So then we go, it's Luger perfect after that?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
And that's literally, this is the beginning of, I guess, the second half.
Yeah, the second half of the show.
So I wouldn't consider Backlund and Ramon. That's barely a match to begin with.
Yeah. Which is kind of indicative of the time, because if you think about it, even for Raws, like, you'll get decent undercard matches, and then the main event is Damian Demento versus Undertaker.
Right.
It's like a boring-ass main event. So it's kind of reflective of the time, which is weird. Typically, you want to build up to the main event, not be deflated by then.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like with March to WrestleMania IX.
Yeah.
Savage and Yoko started off the show.
Right.
And sure, Taker Bigelow was okay, but
that's not where
kind of different levels.
the interest is initially.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So, back in the ring, Taker fights back with basic strikes. This is basically just borderline just brawling at this point.
Yeah, that's all.
Gonzalez ends up headbutting Paul Bearer and uses a cloth that was tossed to him by Harvey Whippleman, as Taker had grabbed a hold of Whippleman.
Yep.
And Gonzalez uses the cloth on Taker and wipes him out with it, as it's got chloroform on it.
Yeah, he like smothers him with it. When Undertaker's got Whippleman up in the air, he looks like he's 10 feet in the air. Like, it's a very impressive sight. And probably because Whippleman's
He's
small.
so tiny.
Yeah. Dude, what's with the WWF booking their big guys to do dumb, like, cheating shit? Like, why does Giant Gonzalez need a chloroform cloth? Why?
Yeah, he's 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
Could
Why does he need that?
Right. Could you imagine him having to do that to, like, Mr. Perfect?
Right.
He should be able to kill Mr. Perfect.
He should be able to kill Undertaker.
Well, he's already dead.
Good
How
point.
how can you beat a dead man?
Good point. Oh, well, you chloroform him and drug him.
Yeah, but he's already dead.
Well, he's drugged.
I don't understand the storytelling for this stuff.
I don't
Realistically, like,
understand.
Undertaker should never feel any pain. He should never be down. If he's dead, you're portraying a dead man.
A zombie, basically.
Yeah. Like, the only way you lose it is if somebody stabs you in the brain.
Just cut your limbs off.
Well, even then, you're still flaming around like
They're still
Brian
alive.
Knobs, you know. Brian Knobs
Fucking Brian
flapping
Knobbs.
around like a fish. So Taker wins by disqualification.
Dumb. Another screwed finish. Stupid.
Yeah, another non-finish. So that basically, essentially every fucking feud on this show
Got a screwed finish.
it's got a screwed finish, and it would make me think that they're all just going to continue.
Which sucks. I don't...
And it blows my mind because they've had like 7 weeks to do shit.
And, like, the build-up is to the point where it's WrestleMania. Let's finish some of this shit.
You know what I think it really comes down to? Is that a lot of these guys are kind of new.
Yeah,
So, like,
but...
Gonzalez is new, Luger's new, Hogan and Beefcake are
No.
new. They just, I mean, yeah, they've been there for like 6 years,
Fresh
but
meat.
they just returned back in February.
I don't know,
Razor Ramon
man.
is new, but he got clean wins. So.
I don't like it. I don't
Steiner
like...
brothers.
There's one... Okay, you got maybe 2 matches on the card where we'll see a ref bump and a screwed finish. Fucking 7 out of the 8 matches? Holy shit, man.
I know. It's a complete overkill.
What kind of WrestleMania is that? If I bought this, dude, up to this point, I would have regretted spending my money.
But I remember, I think when I was a kid and I bought, it was years after the fact, but I remember having bought like a WrestleMania IX tape
Yeah.
at like Media Play or something.
Yeah.
And I remember like after the show, I was just like, what the fuck?
Now, don't get me wrong. If I was here live, if I was watching this show live, I probably would have been all into it. All into it. Watching it back and having to pay on either pay-per-view or buying the tape like you did, I would have wanted my damn money back. I wouldn't... Up to this point, I wouldn't have been happy with that. We've gotten no real concise conclusions to anything. Nothing.
Just you wait. Because there is one, and boy is it coming. So we go backstage to Mean Gene, who promotes the feud between Yokozuna and Bret Hart.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're skipping stuff again, Bob.
Oh my God, you're right. Excuse me. Totally, You're right.
You're not even
Scott Steiner.
selling?
Scott Steiner comes out. I'm sorry. What? Okay. Fans are chanting for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
To come out
And
and get Giant Gonzalez, which is interesting.
I wish they would have done that.
Yeah, fuck it. Have Hogan come out. Boom. There's your feud after WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Do the house show. Oh my god, I'd go to that house show.
Absolutely.
Giant Gonzalez against Hulk Hogan. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Not fuck yeah because the match is gonna be great. Fuck yeah because
you want to see what happens.
Yeah. Plus, you can do Giant Gonzalez, Andre the Giant, Hogan, whatever.
Same song and dance.
It's funny that I was skipping over this. I literally looked at it like, I definitely need to mention that. However, Undertaker has gone off the stretcher, mind you, a dead man on a stretcher, comes back to the ring, which shocks Gonzalez, and he's asking, "What happened? What happened?" as he goes to the floor after being clotheslined.
Yeah.
It actually takes a couple of clotheslines before it gets Gonzalez off the floor. Gonzalez is with Whippleman on the floor, and he's just screaming to him, "What happened?" as I mentioned.
Yeah.
And then Taker just.
Yeah, he gets restrained by Bearer. He kind of holds
because he wants to go back after him again.
Right. And then Palace security, they specifically say, "Oh, Caesar's Palace security is escorting Gonzalez out of the arena." I just think it's funny that officials drag Undertaker out on a gurney while Gonzalez manhandles referees. Heenan says he's using a referee as a yo-yo, and he literally was. He was picking him up, putting him out, picking him up. And just to see the crowd chanting for Hogan here, you got to think, okay, if you knew you were bringing in Gonzalez at the Royal Rumble, why not have an angle there where something happens, or maybe he just debuts, he makes an appearance. Why wouldn't you just have Hogan and Gonzalez feud from the start, leading up to WrestleMania? Why the Beefcake thing with Money Inc. and I feel like that's money. That's money to me.
I tend to agree with you. I mean, Hogan Gonzalez going to WrestleMania IX.
If they had all that time to build up, regardless of the story, they could have came up with something.
You would then be able to do Steiner's and Money Inc. At WrestleMania,
which would have been probably pretty damn good.
I would have to think so. Yeah.
Not as good as probably Headshrinkers, because I don't think
the styles
work as well. Yeah.
Right. No, so you got Bret. You'd have Bret and Yoko, Hogan, Gonzalez. I mean, Taker Bigelow you go with then?
Absolutely.
Taker Ramon or something like that?
Oh, I'd say Taker Bigelow.
I'd go Taker Bigelow too.
Yeah. Steiner's
Money Inc. Luger, perfect. We got to do a better job promoting that.
Just give us something.
Crush Doink.
Yeah.
Tatanka Michaels. Why do I feel like I'm missing a major name?
I feel like we are too. I don't know. Regardless.
Kamala Kimchi, Steel Cage.
Main event.
Yeah, sharks and dirty mermaids and stuff.
Right, yeah, sea urchins.
Well, I mean, what do you do with Beefcake? You just say, fuck it, you're not coming back?
Or maybe you have Gonzalez, maybe Beefcake comes back, Gonzalez destroys him, and you still play it up maybe you keep Beefcake off, and then you insert Hogan I'm here for my friend, because he can't be here. So it's kind of Rocky IV, right? So Apollo dies.
Spoilers.
Sorry, guys. And Rocky comes in to fight Drago. There you go. Yeah. Same story.
Well, maybe Vince never saw it.
Well, he didn't know who Scarface was, right, so he probably doesn't watch too many movies.
That's a fair assessment. I just want to note to you right now that Kamala and Bigelow was never on the show.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
Gotta get time, man. Cut for time. All right, so obviously the next match is the main event, so it's completely cut off the show. So what would you rather have had? Ramon, Backlund, or Kamala and Bigelow?
Ramon Backlund.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so with that point, though, I brushed over in the beginning. I think the first maybe two matches went a little long.
Well, Tatanka Michaels goes 18 minutes or something like that.
That's too long.
Almost 20 minutes.
That's too long.
Yeah, they could have easily cut 6 minutes off of that.
I'm arguing with you that's too long. I'm
arguing. Oh, no. I'm not saying that it's not too long. I just felt as I was watching it, it didn't necessarily feel as if it was a nearly 20-minute match. But in hindsight, they probably didn't need the 20 minutes.
Well, like I said, it was almost an hour into the show. We got two matches.
Yeah, considering all the opening stuff. Yeah, probably good 40 minutes.
So you could have easily cut those matches down a little bit, made them kind of more impactful. Like, holy shit, that was a good match with no kind of in between. And squeezed another match in on the card. I mean, is it worth it? Who knows? But it's variety. It fills in your show. It doesn't have a backstory, but half of the other fucking matches don't have a backstory.
Right.
So why not? Kamala's a name. Bam Bam, you're trying to build up. Have him get a win over Kamala. There you go. Although, knowing them, they would have done a screwed finish for that, too. Something would have happened, or Kim Chi would have came out, or some BS thing.
Yeah, probably. There was a dark match, though, I didn't point out.
Oh.
It was Tito Santana against Papa Shango, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think it exists. I don't think footage of it exists.
It's not footage.
No.
That's weird. That's like a weird combo.
Tito and Papa Shango.
That's weird.
It's kind of bizarre. So then coming out of there, right, we have the backstage. Mean Gene promotes the feud between Yokozuna and Bret Hart. We get a video to remind us of what happened to poor Jim Duggan. And then a video of Yokozuna attacking Bret during the recent contract signing.
And it's official, ladies and gentlemen. This just in, it is official. Mean Gene Okerlund announces that Yokozuna is 505 pounds.
Yeah, so that blows my mind.
How did they not build it up?
I thought they were going to inflate it. Before we did this recording today, because I didn't note it in my notes. I didn't remember. So I actually went back to the show and went to his entrance, and I was like, come on, be just not 505.
I know.
And Finkel's is weighing in at 505 pounds. I'm like, what?
I couldn't believe it
at all. So now I wonder when they start inflating it.
Well, because they definitely do. They definitely do.
I definitely remember a match, pay-per-view match, where Yokozuna is legitimately maybe it's when they go. I don't know if I should talk about it, but later in the summer, Fuji's like, oh, no one's gonna be able to pick up Yokozuna because he's been eating rice and sushi and bullshit like that.
Well, remember he said it at I think maybe the Rumble or something. He did say that.
He did.
We've covered it. He did say that, but again, his weight doesn't change.
That blew my mind.
I thought for sure that they're thinking, okay, not many people are watching Raw yet. We can kind of say whatever we want for his weight, and people aren't going to question it.
Yeah.
So why would you not be like, oh, in preparation for his match, he's up to 530 pounds now. This is like an extra 25 pounds to throw at Bret Hart.
Yeah. There's certainly not going to be two guys 25 years from now doing a podcast studying what we put forward.
Waiting to hear it.
Right.
Yeah, waiting to hear it. But it's official, ladies and gentlemen. The bet is off. We both lost. I even think we considered maybe, 550?
I think 550, yeah.
Yeah. So
I even tried going down to 540 at one point, but you're like, no, Bob, you said 550.
You did.
Oh,
You
that's
said
right,
550. So
I can't believe it, dude. 505. It disappointed me. I was really hoping for 530 at least or something. 520.
Something.
Nothing.
So
Mean Gene, he's doing all these things, promoting the main event, and he brings over someone to interview. Now I'm thinking, okay, maybe Bret's gonna get an interview.
I was hoping so.
Or Fuji or somebody.
Yeah.
No. Instead, it's Hulk Hogan, brother.
Why?
He comes over and he's interviewed about the main event, a main event that he's not even involved in and hasn't even talked about since he returned 2 months ago.
As if he hasn't gotten enough camera time yet.
I don't. It really took me aback. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? So Hogan says he has just left Bret Hart's room, and he says that he's in Hart's corner, and he wants him to beat Yokozuna tonight.
Yeah, and so all the Hulkamaniacs are in Bret's corner too. That's how he phrases it.
Yeah, the motivational brother.
Oh yeah.
Hogan's eye looks just awful. I mean,
gross.
It's just
so gross.
Really bad. And notes that he was attacked after leaving a gym in Vegas shortly before WrestleMania.
Yeah, sure, brother.
Hogan wants Hart to watch Mr. Fuji and Yokozuna tonight, and he's on Bret Hart's side. And he officially issues a challenge to either Yokozuna or Bret Hart for the WWF World Championship.
Oh no.
He won't have to challenge alone.
That's not how he phrased it, Bob.
How did he challenge? Or how did he say it? Well, hey, I didn't finish it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
right.
No, go ahead. No, because I don't think it is in reference to what you're saying.
Well,
ow! I just stubbed my toe.
Great. Now it's gonna look like Hogan's eye.
It probably will.
Hogan adds that he plans to challenge either Bret or that Jap.
He says that?
He says Jap.
Why did I not notice that?
He says
I didn't
Jap.
write it down.
Who else said? Oh, Duggan called him a Jap.
Called him a Jap too.
What the fuck? What a prick.
Wow. I guess I'm really good at ignoring racial
he
insults.
said it. He said it like it was nothing.
No, I
It was
believe
jab.
it. It was a different time, man. They could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Back then, they were grabbing girls by the pussy. Okay. He believes, Hulk Hogan, he believes that the title will remain in the USA, which would be really, a good statement. But, like, Bret's Canadian, so the belt's not in America.
I wish he would just start talking about fishing off Santa Monica Pier again.
Yeah, come on.
Because, can you just start talking about that again?
Tell us about those dirty mermaids.
Yeah.
So then we go to Tatanka, who's in the crowd, and he literally shoves a kid out of the way. Like, he's walking up, and the kid's like, "Oh, Tatanka." Todd's like, "Nope, you get the fuck out of here." I
feel like you could tell he was fed up at this point.
Well, yeah. He didn't want to be in the fucking crowd all night. But it was just the visual of him just shoving a kid with no regard.
Pushed him right back. Yep.
You're not who I want to. So instead of interviewing, a kid who's probably going to be, yeah, go Bret.
And actually, genuinely interested in the show.
He instead talks to two random dudes.
Who look drunk college kids.
They're in their own little togas. And
speaking of drunk.
Yeah. Is this water? No. They're in their own togas. And he tries talking to him about the show, and
they don't give a
I don't
fuck.
think they know what's going on.
They don't even know they're getting interviewed.
Yeah.
They're fighting each other and wrestling.
They
and
have no idea that they're at WrestleMania.
I think it's funny that every person that Todd Pettengill has kind of talked to tonight is either completely oblivious or doesn't care about the show.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
100%.
It's awesome. And I feel like at this point when he threw back to whatever, the commentary team or something, I just feel like, I don't know, were those two plants? Was that like a plant thing?
It seemed like it because they were the only guys wearing togas.
Yeah, and they were the only ones kind of being rowdy and
yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think any interaction with Todd was definitely...
It's going to be a plant.
Yeah.
Which is why he probably pushed the real kid out of the way. Like, no, I don't want to talk to you.
That would make much more sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, we don't know what you're going to say, so get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But the problem here is that the kid wasn't like 12.
No.
He was like 7.
Yeah, he was young.
7 or 8. Like, he had just wandered away from his mom and dad. Like, oh, I want to talk to this guy.
He's got the oversized WrestleMania t-shirt on.
Yeah. And Todd's just like, get the fuck out of here, man. Let me talk to these drunks. This is great.
Yeah.
So from there, we have our main event of the evening. It is WWF World Champion Bret Hart taking on the 505-pound Yokozuna.
Boo.
Boo what? The main event or Yoko?
No, 505.
505, okay. That's what I thought maybe you were pulling about. All right, so the match starts off with Hart drop-kicking Yoko into the corner. What?
You're skipping over. What are you trying to rush through WrestleMania,
what am I
buddy?
skipping? I just go right for the action. I don't do no flower girls and shit like that you're probably talking about.
Come on.
What? What did I not bother to write down?
First of all.
Oh, my God. Unprofessional.
I was ready for the main event. Were you ready for the main event?
Yes.
I was actually looking forward to it. I was excited.
And I was. Well, mainly because I was curious to see what they would be able to pull off.
Yeah.
Considering the size difference and stuff like that.
Not only that, but the crowd at this point's tapped.
They were tapped after the tag title match.
Yeah, they're tapped. So I was, again, watching it back and not watching it for a while. I was excited to see this. So when Yoko comes out, a hush falls over the crowd. It's obvious that Yoko's the guy and he's, the main heel, and there's no question about that. Like, they literally, it gets quiet, and as he's coming out, really the only thing you hear is his entrance music.
I was just going to say, I think the music even kind of sounds you off. It is kind of soft, but then it's kind of...
It's threatening.
It's like a threatening soft. Yeah, I couldn't think of the right way of describing it, but yeah.
But as soon as Bret's music hits, it completely changes. He looks pumped. He looks in great shape. And you know what I always appreciate about Bret is he always puts the title first. And as a fan, I appreciate that. Not a fan of all the pink, complete pink gear, though.
Well, just to mention about him always putting the title first or whatever, he tends to treat professional wrestling as like a shoot.
I know.
And he gets ribbed a lot for that, which I kind of get.
I know. But at the same time, as a fan, you like that.
Well, sure. Yeah.
I like that.
Well, he's been a fighting champion the entire time.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I feel bad that Bret gets so much, Bret gets so much flack for being so kind of serious about himself and the belt and pro wrestling in general, but at the same time, that's what the sport started out as.
Well, here's the thing. I think I would prefer. I mean, I wouldn't take wrestling as a joke. If I was in it, like if I was competing, like for sure, I would be prideful of what I've accomplished.
Yeah,
whether or not they've, written that story for me or put me in that position.
Right. But again, you wouldn't want to be just constantly shitting on the business and making a joke out of it.
Right, because it's something that he's doing professionally. So if you're sitting there going, yo, dude, wrestling's fake, then you're totally discrediting what you're doing.
Right. Right. Because it's hard hitting. It's you're an athlete. You're a pro athlete. And that's even I trained for a fucking month and couldn't cut the mustard. I mean, it's literally a complete lifestyle change.
Well, they always say it takes 6 weeks for your body to even get used to taking the bumps.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Your back fucking scabs up from hitting ropes and stuff. So, I mean, it's just, I'll never discredit Bret for how he handles and carries himself when it comes to wrestling.
No,
I respect that, if anything. He was always true to wrestling.
Well, this is one of the ways he's brought up. Right. But, you mentioned that you trained for a month or so or whatever. I can't even get through the training things in the video games.
Well, they're hard as fuck.
They're hard.
Yeah.
Can't just scoop slam some guy? It's you got to time
you got
the
no
X
moves. You got no moves.
Yeah, how the hell am I supposed to win?
Yeah.
It took me, let's go on a completely different tangent here. It took me 4 tries in the latest game to beat freaking Xavier Woods. I've barely even played the latest game. I bought it to play for my ex-girlfriend at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was all like, oh, hey, Hardy Boys. Okay, great. I'll spend $60. And then, she never
played. You got screwed.
Well, literally, yeah.
But, hey, I was such a J-Brown, though, that I got tights before I even started training. And I'm very glad that I didn't wear those because I would have looked like a fool.
You got tights?
Oh, yeah, I got tights. Before I even started training.
Have I seen them?
Yeah. Oh. They're black, shredded up with multicolor. You see them. You helped me pick them out, actually.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
When?
It was a vote. Regardless. But, like I said, stemming back to where we came from, I'll never discredit Bret for taking the business serious, because good for him. At least somebody did. It's nice to see for a change instead of being like, oh, hey, we just had a match. Good match. Write me on Twitter. Hey, good match. That was fun.
Well, my whole thing, or the argument here is I'm a 5-time WWF World Champion. I mean, somebody booked you for that.
Yes, but at the same time, they booked you for that because they knew that you could handle it and carry it.
Well, sure.
And that's a shoot. That's real.
For sure. Yeah. But I'm saying, in comparison of pro athletes saying,
right,
I won an NBA championship 6 times.
Super Bowl.
Well, it's okay, well, nobody booked. At least we don't know. Maybe it is rigged. Who knows?
I don't know these days, man.
Yeah, you never know. But this stuff is
I know.
So
I can see both sides of the coin, but
you're right though, because obviously they're trusting him to do it. So he's in a very small club of people that.
And that's due to his work, his actual work.
Yeah, absolutely. What else did I miss before the match that you're so pissed off about?
That lovely conversation we just had for the last 3.5 minutes.
I thought you were about to say 3.5 hours.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Take us right into it, Bob.
Okay. Well, as I was saying before I was really interrupted about 6 minutes ago, Hart drop kicks Yoko into the corner and delivers several right hands to just stagger Yokozuna. Hart tries to go behind Yokozuna, but that doesn't work out very well. And it was an odd visual, seeing a very small man try to take down
he couldn't get his arms around him.
What are you doing? Yoko proceeds to run over Bret and knocks the champ to the floor. Bret blocks a boot and then ties Yoko's leg in the ropes.
Another weird visual.
Yeah, but I thought it was smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he ties Yoko's legs in the ropes before hitting a slingshot splash, and then pummels the champion. So Yoko's laying on the floor, on the mat, with his leg trapped in the ropes, and Bret's just pummeling him, showing you that this underdog is coming in on fire, and he's smart and he has a plan.
Right, and he knows that if he's gonna beat Yokozuna, he's gonna have to go right after him.
He's gonna have to keep him down too.
I think, again, to credit Bret Hart, he always has a story in mind. Every match. Yep. Every match has a story. He's one of the best, if not the best, I'll go out on a limb and say that, storytellers in the ring. absolutely one of the best.
Which I think I would say we take for granted compared to now.
Completely.
Where it's like people just don't give a flying
Yeah,
fuck.
They're just wrestling.
Yeah,
It's
just,
just
the
a
high
match.
spots.
Yeah.
He's literally telling you a story.
It's a story.
So Bret comes off the middle rope with a forearm drop, trademark spot, and he comes off the ropes, but is met with a clothesline from Yokozuna. Yoko comes off the ropes to deliver his leg drop and then keeps control with the nerve hold. Hart boots a charging Yoko in the corner and then jumps onto Yoko's back to drop the challenger to the mat. And it seemed like as if it was supposed to be just Hart like jumping onto Yoko and like maybe supposed to walk around and Yoko just like lost his footing or something.
Yeah.
And he stumbled down to the mat. Yoko recovers and then nails Hart with a super kick. Another nice.
Very nice.
Him and Fatu seem to be delivering some nice super kicks here.
I know.
Yoko misses a backsplash in the corner, and then Hart plants Yoko with a middle rope bulldog for a 2 count. Hart comes off the middle rope with another forearm drop for a near fall. Hart leaps off the middle rope with a clothesline to stumble Yoko, and then comes off the ropes with another clothesline to drop him to the mat. Hart holds on to the turnbuckle pad in the corner, and it gets ripped off as Yoko drops Hart down to the mat. Hart blocks being sent into the exposed steel and then rams Yokozuna into it.
Mm-hmm.
Hart then goes for the sharpshooter, and I was like, no way. So now, mind you, Yokozuna's not on his back. He's on his stomach already.
Yes.
So Hart goes to his legs and then just kind of lifts him up and puts him on.
Him up.
But regardless, still being able to hook it on there was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's a feat right there.
Yeah, and he has it locked in. You're thinking, oh my God, Bret Hart's going to fucking make this guy tap out.
Could you imagine? Holy shit.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. So let's say right now that Bret Hart gets Yokozuna
submission victory?
to submit.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Like Bret Hart.
There goes the underdog.
Yeah. But like Bret Hart is like instantly, he just fucking beat Yokozuna.
A monster killer.
Yeah.
Bret Hart.
It's like the rub he gets off of that.
Oh my God. Ridiculous.
I would maybe you do that. Do you kill off? Does that hurt? How bad does that kill off Yokozuna if he submits to Bret Hart?
I would say it would be detrimental because he's.
Do you think it's over?
Yeah, they'd have to either rewrite him as something else or comedy him out, or it would just. It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same because, realistically, I mean, let's take a look. Who's he really beat? He didn't beat Duggan. He's really just beat up on job guys.
Savage.
He beat Savage.
But that's pretty much on television. That's
I know. So if he taps out here at WrestleMania, that's way downhill from there.
I believe Bret had written in his book that he was under the impression, or he was told that he was winning.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in his book.
I don't remember reading that.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God.
That he was under the impression he was going to win, and then when he got there, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, so this is what's going on. He was pissed.
Okay.
And also,
yeah, I do. Yeah, I recall.
He was like saying it was supposed to be like a 20-minute match, and Yoko goes home early, and he was pissed about that too.
Yeah,
so what the fuck?
Yoko was like blown up or something.
I think so. He was just like, let's just go home.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. Like he was pissed. He
yeah.
said this was supposed to be my fucking my moment.
Yes.
And you're like killing it.
Yes, and you know what?
But Bret did get a lot in though, like his offense. But who knows what it would have done with 20
Well, I was
minutes.
gonna say, I think, contrary to maybe popular belief, I think if this went a little bit longer, it would have ended up better, because then you play into the fact where the monster's starting to get tired, and it's now Bret can get the upper
You're not
hand.
even probably past the second layer of the match. So let's say there's like a 4 layer of a match. Like you're probably just barely into the second level.
You haven't even hit the peak.
Yeah.
I know.
You haven't reached that, like, oh, now here's the downfall. Nothing.
I know.
So Bret has the sharpshooter locked in, and we're like, oh, I'm thinking, okay, this could be it, right? Well, the camera work here, though, kind of kills it.
It gave it away so
because the
bad.
camera is over Mr. Fuji's shoulder for probably 15, 20 seconds. So you're thinking, this motherfucker's going to do something.
Yeah.
Sure enough, Fuji must have realized, oh, hey, I got to do something
This is the spot, yeah.
Yeah. So he digs into his like little robe or whatever, gets some salt out or powder, and then throws it into Bret's face.
Yep.
And then Bret crumbles to the mat. And then you would think, okay, Yokozuna will get up, drag him to the corner, Bonzo drop. Well, no. Instead, Yokozuna just gets up and then pins Bret and is the new WWF World Champion.
Yeah, after salt in the eyes.
What the fuck?
Bret Hart, the fighting champion.
I get that it blinds you.
Yeah, but you can still kick out.
You can still kick out.
I know.
I'm losing my voice so much.
I know.
That pissed me off.
It was just, you know what? It came
I did not remember that finish. Like, I did not remember. So when that happened, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That was...
I didn't know they wrapped it up as soon as he got salted. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, I thought, like, a leg drop.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, I thought, like, a leg drop or something.
Yeah.
He just
literally, 1, 2, 3. He rolls over
and you can tell the crowd's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, that was the finish.
That was it?
Yeah.
Like, Bret just lost to this guy.
With salt in the eyes.
Yeah, and the argument can be made that Bret kind of controls the majority of the match.
Completely. This is a totally different Yokozuna than we've seen. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Not only does he, assumingly, get wicked blown up.
Had to have.
It doesn't even seem like he's as intense. It's like he's nervous to be in the main event.
You know, that very may well be the truth.
Yeah, because the pressure's on, and really it hasn't been on. And
he's been there for under a year, like barely 6 months.
Right.
And he's in the top spot.
Right. Watching it back, I remember it being a decent little match.
I was enjoying it.
This is a match, though, that you needed at least another 5 minutes. You needed that.
Well, I think it definitely goes less than 10. I think it goes like 9 something. Like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
If you tack on 5 minutes,
it might have made a world of difference.
Yeah, because Yokozuna doesn't even really hit his signature moves.
Nothing. Really nothing. I mean, he gets in a couple power moves, but nothing like we've seen. Like, it's not even the same guy. I don't know.
I feel
he
like
must have cracked under the pressure.
He had to have. I have to think that. I mean, obviously that's the finish they're going with regardless.
Right. Yeah,
so
that's gonna happen.
The only way that finish works out is if Bret's like exhausted from a long, grueling match with an enormous man. Right. Oh, we've gone 8 minutes. I've controlled almost the entire match.
Yeah. That's like a final blow that he just can't recover from. Like, he's put on a 20-minute match. And he's done everything he could, gets salted in the eyes, and just that's it. He can't keep going. So
what about, like, what if Yokozuna hits the bonsai drop, right?
After he gets salted?
No. So, like, before all that. So, let's say, like, 2 or 3 minutes later, he hits the bonsai drop. Okay, and then Yokozuna, being the cocky heel that he is, stalls a little bit or whatever.
Yeah. And
by stalling, I mean, like a while.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to go for a second one.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Like, Fuji's yelling at him, and he's like, kind of like, oh, maybe I should, or something like that. And he's like taking his time to drag him over. And
the announcer's gonna be like, oh, this is it, whatever.
Yeah.
But Yoko's like, I want to end this motherfucker. Right. Like, I want to end Bret Hart.
So
he's gonna go for a second one.
Yeah.
So then, what I'm about to say may confuse some people. Like, oh, why would he do that? But at the contract sign, this has happened.
Yeah.
So if Yoko goes for a second one, let's say Bret miraculously moves out of the way, and Yokozuna crumbles to the mat.
Right.
Okay, in the corner. So if this is like 3 or 4 minutes after, from where we are right now before the salt.
Yeah.
And Yokozuna just powers out of the sharpshooter. So Yoko can be, he'll roll around back onto his stomach, and then Bret goes for it again, and then this time Fuji throws the salt in his face.
Right.
So at least he's taking the finisher.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, somehow, I mean, like, you can just be really dramatic about it. So he just took the bonsai drop. It's going to take probably a couple of tries to get the sharpshooter on him.
Absolutely.
So you can have like 2 or 3 tries
where he just
where he can't do it.
Yeah, he collapses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Hart will just hit like a forearm drop off the middle of the rope, and then he'll try to do it again, just weaken him down.
And maybe he's selling his chest. Maybe he takes his classic bump with the front bump with his chest after the bonsai.
That didn't even happen.
Nothing. And it's like, oh my God, Bret Hart's chest is going to collapse before this match ends. Yeah. Forget the ribs.
Yeah. The salt spot.
Too early.
Way too early. It works though if they do that.
Right.
I would be able to buy it. Oh, okay. He just took a fucking bonsai drop. He got thrown chest first into the fucking thing.
Right.
And now he's trying to do it. This guy's weak as fuck. He just got blinded.
Right. It's it.
If you have one of your senses taken away from you like that after something like that, like maybe you're not kicking out.
Even if you get Yoko up and hit a quick leg drop. At least something. Give us something.
Because he's been winning with a leg drop.
Right.
But this time he's fucking...
Nothing.
Pins him.
That's it.
What a joke.
Bret Hart gets pinned after salt in his eyes.
So going into this, okay, Bret Hart, to me, is like up here. And then after losing, it's like, oh, he's a J Brown down here.
Yeah.
That's how I'm taking it.
They knocked him down 4 pegs, at least.
100%. And I think coming out of here, they know that. And they have to rebuild them.
I know.
And I think as we continue on with this, it's going to be like, okay, what can we do here?
And it sucks because I even feel like, again, it kind of cheapens Yoko. Because
he needs Fuji's help again.
I know.
Like, he always needs Fuji's help to win something.
It's getting to that point.
It's insane.
It's almost like The Office has given up on Yoko, too. Both of these guys.
It's as if they don't want to kill their babyface. But you have to understand.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Yeah,
though.
and the thing is, Bret's the underdog.
And if
he's not supposed to win.
Well, and if anybody can come back from being beaten, it's fucking Bret Hart.
Oh, yeah.
I believe in Bret Hart. Fans, they believe in Bret Hart.
Yeah, I think over the years that's for sure known. Like,
exactly.
When WWF tries to go in a different direction, they're like, no, we want Bret.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell you what we want Bret.
Exactly.
Similar to like Daniel Bryan, more modern. It's like, we want to give you this guy. Like, no, we want this one.
Yeah.
So now you would think, okay, Yokozuna's champion. Show's over, right? WrestleMania ends on this would be a fine, like, if they do this, okay, whatever. Yokozuna's new champion. Right. New era, fine. Well, no. It's not over. And not by a long shot. You see, Hulk Hogan comes into the ring, and boy, is he pissed about what has happened. Hogan tries to tell the referee what happened, and then Mr. Fuji gets on the microphone and issues a challenge to Hogan.
Come on, Hogan.
For right now, to fight his Yokozuna.
Use yellow belly, Hogan.
Bret is on the floor with Hogan, and as Fuji says that he's going to put the title on the line, Bret is chatting with Hogan, and Bret's like, you know what? Go get him, Hulkster.
Yeah, what?
I know Bret has gone on record saying he hated doing that because he looks like an idiot.
He
go get
just
my title.
Lost his belt after getting salted in the eyes and pretty much screwed over. And this guy who comes back, unannounced, is like, here I am. I'm going to come out here and argue about this. He's got no dog in the fight. There's nothing to do with him. It'd be one thing if it was Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Yokozuna. It's fucking not. It's Bret Hart.
Yeah.
So Hogan comes out, steals the spotlight completely, or attempts to. And for Bret to motion like, yeah, just go fight him. It's almost like, what? Why? Why would you agree to that? Even from a character standpoint for Bret Hart, that doesn't make sense.
He's everything that Hogan's not.
Yeah.
I understand they're both, good guys.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So Hogan can't pass it up, and he gets in the ring. And I want to point out, though, right now, I have it noted here a little later, but there is never a bell. The bell never sounds.
Oh.
It's just like a verbal, oh, hey, we're going to do this.
Oh.
The bell never sounds.
Yeah.
So Yoko hits Hogan with a few strikes and then holds him. And then Fuji comes in. And you would think this is automatically a disqualification. He's in the ring. Yeah. But Fuji has the powder or salt and then throws it. But Hogan, of course, moves.
Yeah.
And he hits Yoko. Hogan clotheslines Yokozuna and then follows up with a leg drop to win the match. There was never, as I mentioned, never an actual bell for the match. So in reality, it's not an official match.
I didn't even realize
there was never a bell after the pinfall.
I didn't even realize
so
that.
Technically, Hogan didn't win the match because it wasn't a match. They just said, oh, hey, we're challenging you, and he accepted.
Wow.
No official bell, no nothing.
I didn't even know that.
I cannot believe that this has happened.
Well,
Hogan has had no interaction with these guys. His main focus has been on Money Incorporated and Brutus Beefcake, and we're going to be tag team.
I was going to just say, okay, let's rewind a little bit. Okay, so Hogan's main purpose for coming back, or straight from his mouth, is to help his friend get revenge on Money Inc. He accomplishes that, kind of, in a ass backwards sort of way. So you would think that he's still got to be kind of by Beefcake's side because there still might be some unfinished business there. You never know. It's Money Inc. So with the briefcase and the whole finish, they kind of leave it open-ended. So for Hogan to be like, okay, fuck you. I'm going to go on my own here for a second. And come out and win the title? It's like, what? I literally feel like they did that because, oh, well, he won the belt so many times at WrestleMania before. Just go out and do it again. The fans will love it.
His career so many times is ass backwards. Because this right here is what a heel does.
Yeah.
Not a good guy.
Right.
You know, a heel comes out and says, oh, hey, you won the belt. Well, I'm going to fight you right now for it. It's not a babyface thing to do to come out here and
no,
be
he's
like,
like capitalizing on it.
Right. Like you're getting a cheap match, like a cheap victory.
Exactly. He just fought Bret Hart, who's been a fighting champion, who controlled most of the match. So Bret did all the work for you, and now you're going to just come in, hit a big boot, a leg drop, and win and get the belt.
Yeah.
What?
Like every time that's ever happened,
that's some
the crowd shits on it. But
well,
this time they're like going nuts about it.
Well, that's like some Edge cashing in shit. You know what I mean? It's like the ultimate opportunity. Here. Boom. There you go. You don't even need a Money in the Bank briefcase. He's just Hulk Hogan, so he can do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like I remember like years from now, like Chris Jericho did it to 6 or something like that for the Cruiserweight title. And people are like, fuck you, Jericho.
Yeah.
But like the more modern, like Money in the Bank, I guess makes sense because like the mystery.
Yeah, but that's still a heel thing.
It's still a heel thing, yeah. But like when CM Punk did it on Edge in like 08 or whatever, like I'd pop for that.
Right.
So I was a Punk guy, but
right.
Yeah.
Dude, I just.
So I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite there.
Yeah.
But in this like fuck you,
context,
Hogan. Like
and
what
you know
are you
what,
doing?
too? It's like to be honest, I'm shocked that the fans responded the way they did.
Well, here's the thing. So they pop at first,
pop.
But then it seems like as if it dies down pretty quick.
It does.
Like,
because I think they
Hogan.
realize we really liked Bret. Hogan hasn't been anybody for a while.
He looks like a frail man.
Yeah, and now he's our champion. Well, like, what? Why?
Maybe Hogan got so small for being in Somalia.
Oh, yeah. Headlock on Hunger.
Headlock on Hunger, and then Hogan comes back. Like, kind of a connection there.
Hanging out with Carlos Colon.
Right. The Young Wonder.
Yeah.
As Gorilla Monsoon called him.
Yeah.
Young kid.
Yeah.
This booking just felt like a panic booking. Like, we don't have a star champion or whatever, so Hulk's just back. Might as well put the gold on him. Just fuck it. Who cares? Yep. Nobody will remember how we did it. And then, needless to say, that's pretty much the only thing we do remember.
Yeah.
So, when you ask me, what's the first thing that comes to my mind about WrestleMania 9? It's this.
Yeah. It's like a black streak.
It's so bad.
You know?
The match, like I said, the match with Bret and Yoko was building into being a good match.
I would argue one of Bret Hart's better matches.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was exceeding my expectations with what he was doing with Yokozuna. Just some really smart things he was doing.
And pretty quick action. Like, it was not a slow match.
Nope. And then it just cuts off, Yoko wins, and then boom. Hogan's champ. Like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
So, Hogan obviously closes the show celebrating, and they're, celebrating that he's back and champion, blah, blah, blah. Final thoughts on the show?
My opinion, I would say, is kind of split on the show. I would say that although, seeing the lead up starting from the first Raw definitely helped in the show's favor, I think. With that said, I do think it was a totally different watch through for me this time. But as the fireworks went off for Hogan's pose down, I was left expecting more from this show. This show's been built for so long, and we've been talking about it for so long. And then it doesn't deliver. It doesn't deliver. You know what? It delivered maybe on a very basic level. And I'm not even sure any of the feuds were totally resolved.
I was just going to say, nothing's resolved.
And maybe I would say I'd argue that at least probably half of them should have been resolved at this show. There was just too much like fuckery and shenanigans, things seemingly changing on the fly. There was a lot of sloppiness. It just seemed as, like you said, it was kind of a panic. It was a panic booked show, I felt like. With that said, don't get me wrong, there's several iconic moments and a lot of iconic imagery throughout the show that I still appreciate. I don't think, maybe other than, the Steiners and Michaels, that any of the matches really hold up. And none really stood out to me as WrestleMania caliber matches per se. I mean, I don't know. I'm hot and cold on this one.
Well, I thought the show started off pretty well.
Yeah, it was
with
strong.
The first two matches.
Yeah, it was strong.
And then it just never gets back on track. I would make the argument that if you were to cut if you were to stop watching after Money Incorporated Mega Maniacs, you're probably thinking it was okay.
That was a decent show.
That was a pretty decent WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then you go into Perfect Luger, Giant Gonzalez, and Taker, and then the world title match, and then the aftermath. Then you're just like, what the fuck?
Backlund, Ramon.
Yeah. Well, that was in the first half, but so like Bret and Yoko. I mean, it's again, it's criminal is how good it was probably going to be.
I know.
And then we have to finish off with Hulk Hogan.
There seems to be a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes in the card.
Well, there is. And like you mentioned, nothing's resolved. It's as if this is a build-up to WrestleMania.
I know.
I don't know why they were so hesitant on doing clean finishes on anything.
This is the show
or most of them.
That should have been the March to WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah.
This is March to WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Because then you would think, okay, next month I'm going to have finishes.
Yeah, and it's going to be really good.
Right. No, I totally agree. If you ignore the lack of finishes and you just look at the in-ring quality, it's not a bad show.
In-ring, probably the best we've seen so far. I would say.
I mean, we're comparing it to 45-minute Raws, so yeah.
And the specials and the Royal Rumble.
And the Royal Rumble.
I would say...
Did you enjoy this more than the Royal Rumble? Because I might have.
Yes, I did.
I think I did. Because the Rumble match isn't that great. And the best thing on that show is Bret and Razor. And it's a good match.
That was a good match. I would have liked... then again, I mean...
So right now, WrestleMania IX is the leading candidate for pay-per-view of the year. We do realize that, right?
Yes. Yeah. And
who would have thought
that's
that?
Saying something.
I don't think it's one of the worst ones, though.
You know what? And I would agree with you now because I have seen that backstory.
Yeah. That
definitely did help because before, honestly, Bob, I'm a Bret guy, so obviously I sought out WrestleMania 9 because I knew it was kind of one of Bret's, key moments, but not compared to maybe WrestleMania 10, but watching it this time through, I had a better appreciation for the show. So when people are like, they constantly shit on WrestleMania 9 all the time. And I get why. Don't get me wrong, I get why. But compared to some of the other Manias, like specifically jumping out to my head, WrestleMania 11 was trash. There's been plenty more WrestleManias compared to this one that weren't as good. So I would probably throw it in the middle of the pack.
That's what I would have to say. And for WrestleMania 11 for sure is not a good show. But who knows? Maybe when we get there, we'll be like the context of it. It's great. It's a really good show.
True.
Who knows?
That's
true. If you watch this without backstory, I can see how. Even I was like that. I was like, yeah, WrestleMania is not that great of a show.
Totally.
But watching it with the context, I think it actually isn't that bad.
Right.
So I have a couple of fan feedback.
Ones
here, and I feel like these guys, their feedback, I would have to say, is in the context of just watching the show and not necessarily
so not really
the lead up to it. Sure. Yeah, so just given that perspective.
Now, did we pull these off of Facebook? Are these emails? Or
so I want to. So two of them are from, I believe, to me personally.
Oh.
And then another one is from an email.
Okay.
And then another one is from a wrestling forum, in which I will mention when I get there.
Awesome.
All right, so the first one, Kyle Williams, he says that the fact that it was outside was visually awesome, but as I watched it many years later, I thought it was kind of meh.
I agree, and you know what? That's something even in the first match, like so with Tatanka and Shawn, how the sun's kind of half on the ring, half not. The whole outside, really Vegas was perfect for that because the weather was awesome. Like, that didn't interfere at all.
Yeah.
The sun stayed up for the whole show.
Well, isn't it at one point like the clouds? It's like turning to night, so it's like a nice visual.
Yeah, it's like a nice. I totally agree with Kyle there on that. Totally.
But as you said though, he's watching it many years later, so I don't think he's watching the context.
No,
I'm not gonna sit there and say go watch 9 Raws and then watch
and
WrestleMania.
Then watch this. But really, is he that far off?
No, yeah, it's definitely a meh show, but it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Walter Howard says, honestly, I watched the pay-per-view and I was furious when Hogan won the belt. I was liking the shift to wrestlers like Bret Hart and felt they took a huge step back giving the belt back to Hogan. I think that's so accurate.
Completely. And not only that, even taking a step further to say that with Money Inc. still as your WWF champions, it feels very dated. Like, why, like we talked about, why is the Headshrinkers and Steiners not fighting for the WWF belt?
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
Headshrinkers Headshrinkers in ring are far superior than Money Incorporated.
Completely.
Money Incorporated have them in terms of character and
Status.
promos and status,
Yeah, sure. But again, if you're doing kind of focusing on the younger guys and you got an action-packed, kick-ass tag team match, why is that not the title match?
I have those guys run the loop.
Absolutely.
Give the belts. Say that you give the belts to the Headshrinkers and have Steiner Bros chase after them on the house shows.
Let them trade it a couple times even.
Fuck it. I would go to, if I was going to a house show and it was like, oh, Steiner Bros at this time, if Steiner Bros against Headshrinkers, I'd be like, okay, that's a great undercard. I can't wait
to see some crazy
what's
shit.
what's the main event? Oh, the main event's, Yokozuna against Bret in a rematch from WrestleMania IX. Right. With that, like that's your, but then that's one of your undercard matches. I'm like, sign me up.
Yep.
So sure, there's probably 6 other matches, but I know 2 of those are going to deliver.
Right.
And they're WrestleMania rematches. So like, fuck yeah, I'll go to that.
Right.
Mike Campbell, our good friend. He says he was 10 years old when WrestleMania IX happened. He didn't have cables, so watching on pay-per-view was out of the question. I had to rely on friends at school and watching Superstars on Saturdays at noon to find out what had happened. Upon hearing that Hogan wound up winning the title, I was pleasantly surprised. As a child of the 1980s, I was a Hulkamaniac through and through, but I had watched throughout '92 and saw life go on without Hogan. I got to see the rise of Bret as a top guy and see Undertaker and Mr. Perfect become good guys. Suddenly, Hulk Hogan as WWF champion seemed like it was old news to me. Honestly, the thing that really got me was hearing that Mr. Perfect got knocked out by Lex Luger. Yeah,
that's a good point. I mean, especially as a 10-year-old kid, he said at this time. I can see where at first you'd be kind of excited, like, oh, that's cool. Well, think of it from our perspective. Let's say, I don't know, from 20 years ago, who's like maybe that's a bad example. But like one of our favorite guys comes back and wins the belt. Maybe like for people now, if CM Punk came back.
Well, Daniel Bryan
came back and won the belt. Like, oh, that's cool. But again, you kind of been there already. You've already seen that train. And even like he said himself, you saw life without Hogan, and it wasn't too bad. The rise of Bret Hart is a very important thing for the WWF all throughout this time. So for that to get robbed away, it's criminal. It's exactly like he said. It's old news.
Yeah, I mean, Hogan obviously has Bret in terms of entertainment and character.
Completely.
But at this time, Bret, in ring-wise, is providing such entertainment that
he's ahead of his time.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting here that he's saying he doesn't have cable and stuff like that. And so the way that he was keeping up with it was watching Supers and stuff. I was doing the same thing.
I'm sure a lot
I did have cable.
I'm sure most people.
Yeah, the way, and I've mentioned it before here, is that I would either watch the syndicated shows on weekends,
right,
or like through the magazines,
right.
So I might legitimately be like a month behind.
Yeah.
Knowing what was going on. Because I didn't watch Raw.
I'm sure that was more common than people realize. Yeah. Which is weird because you'd think, oh, it's WrestleMania, it's must see. Well, back then maybe not. Either you don't have the means to, or otherwise.
I think it just shows how important syndication was.
I know. I know. I think it's interesting too that Mike notes that one of the main talking points at school was that Mr. Perfect got knocked out by Lex Luger. And really, if you think about it, this, for lack of a better term, this pretty boy knocked out Mr. Perfect, like Mr. Wrestling. He's. If you didn't watch and you weren't able to watch, it's like, how did that happen? You hear that, it's like, what? I could easily see that. That's funny that he notes that.
Yeah, especially if you're not aware of who Luger is.
Yeah, you're like,
dating back to WCW.
Like who? Who knocked him out?
I guess I guess Mr. Perfect had a lot of.
His name had a lot of weight.
I was gonna say, yeah, he had a lot of
absolutely
importance there.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I guess that's. I know why. I get why. It's just, looking back at it, it's just kind of confusing to me, I guess.
Yeah.
And then lastly, here we have a gentleman from the Freaking Awesome Network forum. It's a wrestling forum I go to pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. Username of Mauld. I would say his real name, but I honestly am just petrified of saying it incorrectly. So if you're listening,
we'll save him the embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, he even sent me a YouTube video of how to say his name, and then I know I wouldn't say it right.
So you didn't even put the effort in.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect. He first saw this as a 10 or 11-year-old, and even back then he knew that Hogan was not going to be a tag champion. Back then I thought, wow, Hogan was taking on Bret for the belt. That should be great. Why don't they do that? Hogan's politicking for the belt back, and then nothing but a promo on the beach until King of the Ring was just bad. So he's been talking about, in general, not just WrestleMania.
Right.
It was bad then and looks even worse now. Hell, it was bad for the show too. Even as a kid, I noticed a difference between Bret and the others showing up on Raw every week and Hogan's tape promo doing nothing. I can't believe Vince didn't realize how much it hurt his product, having the champion literally do nothing. And then he's mentioning how we talked about Hogan being caught in on a steroid lie. That was about himself, but he got caught over and over again trashing the WWF belt in Japan. He had denied he said it, but he had gotten caught on tape saying it as well. So I guess that promo kind of tied in line with that. Anyway, for Jimmy Hart's face turn, that just didn't work, and it felt off to me. I kind of agree with that.
Completely.
Out of nowhere.
Jimmy Hart is not a face manager by any means.
Yeah, he's never showed any compassion.
No.
It's like, why? I don't understand. It was weird. Especially for Hogan and his friends.
I know.
Didn't make much sense.
I know.
It's not like Hogan needed a manager anyway. That's true. Beefcake was just meh, and his return basically counted for nothing since it was really just all about Hogan. Truer words couldn't be said on that.
Oh, completely. But I have to argue that Hogan doesn't need a manager here because let's think back last week. Without Jimmy Hart in that promo, we don't know what they're talking about. Jimmy Hart's the only one who mentions Money Inc., like we said.
That's true.
So I don't know. Maybe at this time he did.
Maybe it wouldn't be bad to have somebody to reel him in.
Yeah.
And keep it the focus there.
Right.
He continues on here. As for Shawn and Tatanka long term, Shawn keeping the belt makes sense, though having a guy with an undefeated streak not win the belt really limits him and what they can do with him in the future.
That's another fair point. Realistically, I mean, what does the undefeated streak mean if he wasn't able to get the belt?
Well, it discredits him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only able to beat lower level guys. Anytime he faces any real competition, he either can't beat them cleanly or whatever. He's beaten Shawn Michaels twice, but that's it.
But not when it counts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess
thanks for that, guys. That was fun.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of good points there. A lot of good points.
If anybody sends them in, whether we talk about it 2 months after the fact, I mean, I'll always make note of it. So if we're on episode 40 and someone's like, oh, in episode 1, I'll bring it up. Why not?
Absolutely. It'll get through either way.
It might not be, because we tape a lot of shows in advance. So.
Yeah. And not to mention, too, it's always nice to hear from people who, lived it and watched it and grew up, watching that at the time. So, because again, we talked about it before, we touched on it, but me and Bob don't necessarily have that. So that's nice. Right.
Like I've been saying, I was 3. I was, I guess, just about to turn 4.
Right.
When this aired.
Right.
Of WrestleMania 9.
And I was sperm.
Right. So my memories are very limited, and you have absolutely none.
Other than what I've watched many, many years later.
Right. And I'm talking about from a live perspective.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'd be the one watching Mania as a kid, trying to keep up and maybe sneak, looking at the magazines at Wegmans and stuff like that, just to see what was going on.
Right.
So it is always cool to have somebody that, I was 10 when this is happening. This is what my friends and I were thinking.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
Because somebody could be like, dude, Tatanka was fucking huge. Like, everybody loved Tatanka.
Yeah.
And I'll sit here and be like, I told you, motherfucker. And you'll be like,
yeah, that guy doesn't remember right.
Yeah.
There was something fuzzy on his monitor.
Fucking Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up WrestleMania 9. So the next show we got is the night after WrestleMania 9, obviously Raw, on April 5th. And then...
Do we know if that's live or not?
That is a tape show.
Damn.
And it was taped on March 22nd.
Oh.
So nothing's going on it.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then our next show after that is going to be maybe one that people wouldn't expect us to do. But we're going to be doing Rampage 93. Now you're thinking, what the fuck is Rampage 93? Well, Rampage 93 is a show in the UK, or London. Excuse me, I'm like losing my voice.
It's all that excitement.
Yeah, WrestleMania 9 just
got
me going.
Yeah.
So Rampage 93 was an event that happened in like London, UK. And they toured the area, and it was a televised event. I feel like we're going to regret looking at it, but I kind of figured, hey, it's a televised show.
Yeah.
It's available on the network, so we might as well, check it out and do things like that. And then who knows? Finally, then I think it's mostly just all Raws until we get to King of the Ring.
Yeah,
but we might throw in.
I was gonna say,
should
we let it out?
Why not? It's WrestleMania.
It's WrestleMania.
So Austin and I have had this idea, and by the time this airs, who knows? We may have even already had one recorded.
Could be,
realistically. So the idea would be that we would do maybe like bonus episodes. Is that a good way of saying it?
Yeah.
And the idea is that we would do like a live watch.
Yes.
So as you guys have probably figured out and probably can hear from the papers that we move around, is that we watch these shows and we write down notes and things of that nature and a reaction. So the idea would be that we would look at a Coliseum video release around this era. So anything before what we've covered.
Right.
So if we're up until April now, so I guess April 93, so probably anything from 90s Coliseum video-wise. I don't know if we want to get into the 80s of it. But probably like 92, 93.
Yeah, we'll stick to the 90s. Yeah. Fits the theme.
Yeah. So like 92, 93 Coliseum videos. So your, Smack 'em Whack 'ems, your Invasion of the Body Slams, Invasion 92, whichever. Bleeps and Body Slams or whatever is another one.
That's a rough one.
That's one of my favorite ones. So the idea would be that we would literally sit down, put it on the TV, probably muted, so we wouldn't have any commentary or know what they're talking about.
Or even if it's on low, that way we can kind of understand. And basically, with that idea, we'd kind of want you guys to follow along if you're able. If you have the network or you're able to pull it up legally.
Streams.
And kind of watch it along with us. I think that would be a really fun and maybe even more interactive way for listeners. And again, this is a trial thing. These are bonus episodes. So if it isn't quite the style you're into, we won't be breaking tradition with our Raws and our regular viewing. So you have that to look forward to. These are just kind of little extras.
Yeah, pretty much. And the reason why we're doing Coliseum videos for right now is because it's not obviously relevant to what we're, like storyline-wise, what we're doing now. So these would be just a mixed match of matches from various guys, and maybe we'll see matches from like Repo Man or something that we're just like, oh, that was crazy good.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
But then this could potentially, as we move on, lead into live watches of future pay-per-view events on the regular series, where we'll watch the Raws and then we'll do a live watch of a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the feedback, we'll take what you guys have to say and definitely into consideration. But it's an opportunity to kind of switch it up a little bit as Bob coughs his lungs out right in your ear.
I don't know why. I don't know. I was fine going into this, and
I think you're starting to lust after me. We've been sitting here together for, what is it?
Well, when you did,
almost 3 hours
you were
now.
grabbing your junk. I think.
Well,
technically,
I'll show you the total package.
I don't want to do that.
That's what you need.
You're turning into a narcissist.
I'll show you Lex and Luger.
I will give you a Hulk Hogan black eye right now. I swear to God.
Oh God, the Igor eye.
So wait, so if we do these bonus episodes, are we gonna do like commentary? Like, am I Jim Ross and you're Bobby Heenan, or are we just gonna be like, oh, that was fucking stupid?
I don't know. Maybe, you know what? We'll leave that as the mystery. And hey,
just as we go, yeah.
And hey, if you know what, maybe if you guys want to hear these bad enough, we can talk you into sharing our page and get us a couple extra likes. Would be nice.
Look at that. Maybe reach out to Lex Luger, have him do an opening.
Don't get me started on that again.
Or Jimmy Hart or somebody, or Sean Wallman, none of those guys.
Sold guys. Help us out. Get on Twitter. Hit the live streams. Tweet.
Yeah, just
whatever you got to do.
If you guys can, because I feel like sob stories really work. Just tell them, hey man, Bob and Austin, they get bullied a lot.
Yeah.
And people are always making fun of them.
Yeah.
And this would be a really good Make-A-Wish. Are you dying at all, or
dying to move on from WrestleMania IX?
All right. Well, I guess that means that this is over. For Oz, Skinner, I'm Bob Young Jr. You've been listening to ICOPOD.
You gotta hear it.